Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Six Nations. This one, England at home, taking on Ireland. Two sides jockeying for position on the Six Nations standings. At the moment, the French are well and truly at the top. They still have the opportunity to extend their lead, depending on what happens here. But it's going to be a very entertaining game to see these two sides go head-to-head at Allianz. But now looking through at the starting sides, it is Alice Genji as the number 1, Luke Cowan Dickey at 2, and Joe Hayes slots in as the number 3. And the locking giant is Maro Itoje alongside Ollie Chisholm, and then Tom Curry. Ben Earl moves to 7, and Henry Pollock into the starting lineup here for the English, rather than making his way off of the bench. In the back line, Alex Mitchell alongside George Ford will be the 9-10 combination. Henry Arundel, he had an interesting game last week. He managed to score himself a try after getting a yellow card, to then receive another yellow card and be off the field for the rest of the game. But he is still a clinical try scorer. Fraser Dingwall and Ollie Lawrence, they are in the midfield. And then also Tommy Freeman and Freddie Stewart will close out the rest of the starting team. For the Irish, it is Jeremy Luckman as the starting one, with Dan Sheehan at 2 and Tyke Furlong as the tight head prop. Joe McCarthy and James Ryan, they are the midfield combination. And then also, not the midfield, the locking combination. Tyke Byrne, Josh Van der Fleer, and Caelan Doris, the skipper, as that number 8. Jamison Gibson Park alongside Jack Crowley. A big change there for Ireland, one that some have been begging to see for the past couple games of the Six Nations. Now we get to see what Crowley can do in a starting kit. Of course, the pressure will be on, but he's a very handy player. He's had some good impact off the bench. He seems to work well with Jamison Gibson Park. But this game up against England, it will be a test to see whether or not he can get it right. And like I said, a massive opportunity to see if he can. James Lowe, he is out on the left wing side. Stuart McCluskey and Gary Ringrose in the middle of the field with Robert Balakoon after a great game last week. We did see him get himself the start here once more. And then Jamie Osborne as the number 15. For anyone who was watching that Lions versus Sharks streams, the Sharks have scored themselves a last-minute try in that contest, but they have still been defeated in that game. A total 34 points to 22 as the end score for that one. We have got there. Thanks so much, Hamish. Your commentaries are the best out there. I hope Ireland wins, says Sue Walsh. And England to win by 23. Ireland to upset England. Yeah, Ireland come in as relatively big underdogs for this match at Twickenham Stadium. But as we've seen throughout the last few years of the Guinness Six Nations, when these two sides go head-to-head, can be extremely eventful. Just looking quickly at what we have seen so far in the Six Nations competition. The French were able to get the win over Ireland in the opening contest, 36 points to 14. Italy caused the upset up against the Scottish, and England had a massive win over the Welsh side heading into the next round of the Six Nations. We saw Ireland get the victory over Italy by a narrow margin. It was one that was definitely 50-50 at times throughout the contest. England lost their winning streak as the Scots bounced back from the Italian defeat to go on to get themselves the win at Murrayfield. And then France, a dominant win over the Welsh, although a good first half from Wales, which makes that next game between Scotland and the Wales side just that little bit more intriguing. But also, what is to come? There are not many games left in the Six Nations competition. These are the last two rounds. Now, you will notice 13 days away. We've got a bye week next week, which means no one will be playing. But then from there, Ireland back at the Aviva up against the Welsh. Scotland and France go head-to-head. They've had some brilliant matches of the Six Nations throughout the last few years. England and Italy, and then that final round. Will England, if they bounce back here, have still a slight chance of winning the Six Nations in that final game up against the French? Or will it be done and dusted for this competition? But I am excited for this game, as you guys can tell. And if it's on ITV, I might have to stream it. I think ITV coverage is so bad, says Flesh, and how's Hamish, says Sakili, doing extremely well. Excited for this matchup. We are only sitting around 10 minutes away from the kickoff of this game. Straight away following this contest, we have got Wales versus Scotland too. So it's a big day for the Six Nations. Some would call it a little bit of a moving day in terms of the table, where some sides will go up, some sides will drop out. But whoever loses this game, their chance of winning the Six Nations, I believe, is gone. How's a Hamish? Tough call on who to back here. But for me, it's Ireland all the way. It's not a fixture without Arundel scoring. Same with Louis Bielbiaré for France. Bonus points crucial for series wins. I think in the Six Nations it is absolutely vital that you get the bonus points. We saw last year's competition how all of the teams had 4 wins, 1 loss, and it was the points differential, of course, but that didn't really play a factor because those bonus points is what can really change a game and change a tournament for the side. So even if you lose a game, you have to get that bonus or else you're in trouble and you just drop that little bit. We have got their TV commentary is bad. That's why I'm here. Go well all. Should be a good one. Yeah, I'm hopeful that this game will live up to expectations because if it does, it could be an absolutely phenomenal game and also, to be honest, a match of the year candidate in terms of all of international rugby. That is what is on the line here for these two sides. Why is Marcus on the bench? I think they prefer the forward mindset in that number 10 jersey. But is it something that costs them up against the Scottish? Remembering he went for a drop kick that led to a Scottish breakaway try. There were times maybe that they didn't go attacking enough. Maybe that's when Marcus Smith could have been the better option in those scenarios. But of course, hindsight's a wonderful thing. After the end of the game, it's always easy to say they could have done this, they could have done that. But in this case, these two sides, they're going to be doing a lot throughout this 80 minutes. It's going to be must-see when they make their way on the field. But both sides just in the changing sheds at the moment. Because of England's short national anthem, they don't really need a huge amount of time out there on the park before the match does get underway. But a big opportunity for Henry Pollock, the starting jersey in this contest. We've seen a lot of hate towards that man throughout the last 12 months. He only ever comes off the bench. But when he starts, he's normally one of the most impactful players out there on the field. We've seen it for Northampton time and time again. But this one will be quite the intriguing game because you've got Pollock getting the start. You've got Jack Crowley getting the start ahead of Sam Prendergast, who isn't even featuring across this 23-man Irish team. And a couple little switches here and there for these two sides. Overall as well, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who do you think is going to win? I think that if England were to lose at the Aviva, at Twickenham, after just coming off a loss to Scotland, that would be pretty heartbreaking for them. So I think narrow victory to England. But honestly, I like the look of this Irish team. What they've done here in terms of including Robert Baloucoune, I think is a great option just because of the form that man is showing. And just overall, I think it's a pretty handy looking side. I like the transition of Byrne still in that starting side. James Ryan's that big question mark. Is he going to get a card today? Because most of the time, the answer is yes. And we have got there, I didn't realise Ireland is last on the table now. Says I am nutty. Yeah, it's interesting the way that it's worked out. With the exception of the Welsh, of course. Wales are below them at the moment in the standings. We have got there, imagine if Jack Willis was there. Third best 7 between Savia, who's in second, and Peter Stephan first, says Demon. And I would like to see Ireland win, says Everything Gaming T. And as a South African, I don't like either of these teams, but Ireland have more of a point to prove, says Sakele. Yeah, these two teams, they are juggernauts of the Northern Hemisphere. Last year, it was a phenomenal game. This year, I'm hoping it will be no different. Currently only 5 minutes away from the start of the matchup. Maro Itoje looking laser focused. He knows that wasn't the best that they could put out there on the field last week up against the Scots. This game up against Ireland, though, there is a lot on the line. There's a Six Nations to still be won, and everyone is chasing the French. So it all comes down to this. Whoever wins this game keeps their hopes alive. Whoever loses it, well, they are probably done and dusted for the Six Nations. Last year, in this contest, Ireland versus England, it was 27 points to 22 in favour of the Irish at the Aviva. Now, in that game, Ireland started Sam Prendergast as their number 10. They had Bundy Arkey in the midfield. Those are 2 changes. Hugo Keenan was at 15. Mac Hansen out on the wing. No one from that 4 names that I just mentioned is actually even featuring in this game whatsoever. A 1 to 13 or 13 plus. I'd like to think it would be within 1 to 13. Maybe that's just me being optimistic that it's going to be a close game and that it will be an edge of the seat kind of encounter. But you just never know. In terms of that English backline, ladies and gentlemen, for anyone wondering, George Ford did not start the match last time up against the Irish. 27-22 down in that game, the scoreline. Henry Slade was out there on the field. Marcus Smith, Kanan Murley was out on the wing too. So quite a few changes. That is a game where we didn't really get to see that Arundel full impact. The national anthem's just about to take place. If you haven't already, let me know your score predictions for this game. It is going to be an eventful one. Both of these sides have plenty of ability, plenty of skill, and it should just be an absolutely incredible game. Hopefully. And at least I'm more hopeful for this one than the URC game we just covered, purely because there was a scrum every 2 minutes throughout that second half. Became very repetitive in terms of what was going to happen, but these two sides are pretty unpredictable. As we've seen throughout the Six Nations competition already, they could go absolutely firing here, or one of these two sides could absolutely butcher it. Being Welsh, living in England with family from both countries, I have to go with the English, as my Irish family hate rugby or football and Gaelic football. We have got an England blowout, in my view, 10 plus points. And also we got the 31-20 in favour of the Irish. It's the prediction from Sakili, but the Irish national anthem is now, the rugby anthem is now just being sung. I always get corrected on that. Afternoon, chaps and chapesses. What time says Mahadine? This game is kicking off in 4 minutes' time, so we are extremely close to the start of the match. If you have a score prediction, pop it in. If you have a try-scorer prediction, put it in the chat too. G'day, mate. Good to see you. Good to see you too, Jason. Currently 3:10 a.m. for us Kiwis here in New Zealand, but I'm sure there's a few committed to getting up at this random hour of the morning to enjoy this matchup for what it is. That man in the background looked like Stuart Hogg, but of course it was not. What time are you playing, or what time are they playing? For Except I see there is 2 cups on the screen. Says Hardis. What time are they playing for Except I see there are 2 cups on the screen? Well, they're playing in 3 minutes' time. And in terms of the cups, I assume you're talking about like the captains, seeing as both sides have one. And we have got the heart says Ireland, but the head says England by 5. Says Daryl. And 24-22 in favour of the Irish, says Cape Tonian. So everyone's going close for this game, with the exception of the occasional big one-sided guess. But yeah, I'm very excited. This is the type of game that makes you forget that it's 3 a.m. and that you just get more and more hyped up for as it gets closer. I can hear from my window. Says John, how close to the ground are you, John? Do let me know, but God save the king. Now just being sung. A gold trim for the Poms. Steve Borthwick, a determined look on his face too. The plan was not to lose that streak last week up against the Scottish, but it happened. 5 of the last 6 games have been won by Scotland up against England. It's been a bogey team for a while. And just that last meeting between these two teams, the Irish, they were able to get that win too. But the game before that, at Twickenham Stadium, 2024, England won by 1 point, 23 points to 22. So 2 games in a row that these two sides have been split by 7 or less. The year prior to that, it was actually a 29-16 victory to the Irish. That was the year of the Rugby World Cup. So that one was a bit more favourable in favour of the home side. Just looking through, James Lowe. Back last time that these two sides played at Twickenham, he scored himself 2 tries in the second half. And Jack Crowley was the man in charge of penalties, and he only missed the 2 in the second half. The early ones were being taken. It was 12 points to 8 at half time, all from Crowley's 3 kicks, or 3-point kicks, I should say. As a draw possible, I don't like either side, says Sided. Theoretically, a draw could be on the cards, and with how close they've been the last 3 encounters, a draw could well and truly happen here. What I said in the previous stream, the Sharks lost their bite, says Kyle. Was the final score Georgia versus Spain? Georgia won by a little bit in the end. When is England playing New Zealand in the cricket? I think they play on about Friday this week or somewhere around there. It's a few days away from that one starting up, but the two sides are already out there on Twickenham. I still call it Twickenham. I don't like calling it Allianz. There's like 15 Allianz stadiums around the world at the moment, including one in Australia, one in Italy. But this is Twickenham Stadium. And this is going to be Six Nations rugby at its finest. Referee in charge of this game is Nika Amushikeli. In fact, sorry, my apologies. It is the Italian referee, Andrea Piardi. And England had their bad game last week. They will step up and definitely beat Ireland. We're struggling with form, says YZ. But could it be possible for Ireland to find their form here too? Because if it is, then these two sides are just going to throw absolutely everything at each other for 80 minutes. At England, they will be kicking off this one from left to right. We are just about ready to go. The countdown is about to begin. Piardi has the referee in hand. Six Nations round 3 just about underway. England versus Ireland. Whoever wins stays in their Six Nations hunt. Whoever loses, their Six Nations hopes are done. Anything is possible, methinks, says Danielle. This one's going to be kicked off by George Ford, and we are underway. The long boot into the 22. McCluskey with the first carry and hit hard by a Toje as well as Joe Hayes. Wonder whether or not the tempo will be high between these two sides, or whether it will be a bit more of a methodical test match feel. And it's been booted towards the touchline from Jamison Gibson Park. Doesn't find the half, or doesn't find the sideline, sorry. Finds instead the hands of Freddie Stewart. England attacking 45 metres out from the Irish line. Big tackle made on Joe Hayes by Tyg Byrne. Off to the left-hand side. Freeman, long way off his wing, links up with Lawrence. 40 metres out again. Looking to the short side. Alex Mitchell, a little bit isolated. And back across to the right. Ford goes to Hayes. That's already his third carry. In fact, no, that was Alice Genge that time, so only 2 for Hayes. At this point in time, George Ford looking for the cross kick. Freddie Stewart, normally safe under the high ball, has taken it nicely in the challenge from James Lowe. Ball still on the side of England just. 6 phases in a row here. Maru Atoje. Oh, the way that Byrne fell there looked like he may have taken a head knock. I don't know whether or not he's actually injured. No, he's back up to his feet. He's all good to go. He's really channeling that in. Peter O'Mahony playing 6 for Ireland. That man took so many knocks and continued to get back up to his feet. James Lowe going for the grubber in behind. Trying to clean that up was Ollie Chisholm, but already there was the knock-on advantage. We are now going back for the first scrum of the day. Quick start, though, between these two sides for the first 100 seconds of the contest. England with them awful kicks. Says South Kid. And yeah, just that knock-on from Alice Genge there, making the mistake. The ball in hand. Just talking about that advantage that has now disappeared. As we get into the scrum. I'll be interested to see who has the scrum advantage here between these two sides. Ireland's scrum has been a little bit up and down over the last 12 months. 894 kgs in the pack compared to England's 903. And I live near the ground of the road. It's full of caravans, says Sebastian. Yeah, it looks like a pretty full crowd. I assume they would have sold this game out, even with the result that we saw last week. In fact, you could say the result for both sides. A lot closer, Ireland in that game up against the Italians than it was anticipated. And I want my drive tarmacked, says Sebastian. But now, first scrum. 2 minutes in, Jamison Gibson Park will have the scrum feed. And, oh, no, we're not quite going to get the first scrum. Both front rows standing back up. Piardi just making sure they have that clear space. Doris playing as that number 8 role here up against Henry Pollock, the veteran of the game. Even though Doris isn't even that old, but he is old in terms of experience compared to Pollock, who is, interestingly enough, packing down on the side of the scrum. So they've actually got Ben Earl situated as the number 8 rather than Pollock for these scrums. But just the different number on their backs. Oh, free kick goes the way of the Irish. Jamison Gibson Park takes it quickly. Goes down to McCluskey, looping around. Jack Crowley had to run around to try and get to that one. And a good kick downfield. Bounces in the field of play. And then finds its way over the touchline. Scrappy start, says Dunk. I think it was always going to be between these two sides. They won't want to make the early mistake. And it may mean that both sides go into their shell a little bit at times. Because, of course, you don't want to have that big error that cost your side a try. We saw England have it up against Scotland last week when attempting the drop kick. We saw Ireland have it up against the Italians as well. And the first line-out has gone the way of the Irish. It was against the feed that they were able to steal it. Crowley goes across to McCluskey. Looks to bundle his way. Up the middle of the field, runs straight at Lawrence. Now Gibson Park, inside ball to Josh van der Fleer. Driven down by Lawrence again. Busy man in the early stages. 2-man tackle on Tyg Furlong. Driven backwards a couple. Told to get out of there. And the breakdown for England now. I don't know whether or not Osborne is the size of a player who should be running that line, but Jack Crowley now cutting inwards, gives it off to Luckman. Out to 15 from the line here for Ireland. Dan Sheehan short side. Goes to James Lowe, who's dropped it cold. Not sure what happened to him there. Freddie Stewart having a little bit of an afters chat with him as well, who is currently drenched in blood, Stewart. I'm not sure whether or not that was from the earlier collision with Lowe. Maybe that's why he was given a little bit of a chat afterwards. But yeah, Lowe was untouched at the time where he dropped this ball on the short side. Careless hand, says Sebastian, and another drop for Ireland. Yeah, Sheehan got it out wide to Lowe and then just let it kind of slip through the breadbasket. And the big shot coming in after from Stewart too. Looks like he may not be the only player bleeding. Looks like Cowan Dickey's just having his nose sorted out. How's it all? Got a feeling Ireland going to come to the party today at Twickenham. An evening, Hamish. Thanks for the commentary, says Joss. No worries whatsoever. We have got another game just around the corner. That is going to be the contest taking place between the Scottish and the Welsh. That game's at the Principality for that one. It's going to be an insane contest. And then, just as a little bit of a bonus, France play Italy tomorrow in France. That's going to be a hard game for the Italians. But what they have shown throughout the Six Nations is they have a ton of heart and that they are willing to put in a big effort up against sides who are favourites against them. Wales get their first win. CS Southkit. Now, scrum feed here for the English. They are currently sitting 10 metres out from the line. How's the weather report? About 13 degrees from what I've heard. And there was a chance of rain, but not a massive one, which is good news. But still a few handling errors early on. So if the rain did fall, we may see a few more. Mitchell puts the ball in. Front row's collapsing there. Scrums are awkward and tied furlongs. Practicing some gymnastics, doing the handstand there. I might have to bubble the stream to have a late dinner, or a late dinner such as. To bubble the stream. I'm trying to work out what word that was supposed to be, and I have no idea. Now all I can think of is just blowing some bubbles on the stream. That would probably affect the camera quite a bit. Wales win. That's as likely as cow jumping over the moon. See Sebastian. Now, it's going to be another scrum feed for the English. Looks like George Ford is calling for it from that number 10 jersey as well. They may look to run it off the back just to create a bit more of an angle for that kick from inside of the 22. It was most likely to win this weekend, Wales or Italy. I would say Wales out of those two. Italy are big underdogs, big push there at scrum time from England. And they get themselves the penalty. Oh, and Pollock giving it a few afters with Caelan Doris. There's plenty of feeling in this game, ladies and gentlemen. And we're only 5 minutes in. We're going to see it now. It was the big push from the English. Did they wheel it a little bit? Possibly. Yeah, Pollock getting right in the face of Van der Flair as well as Doris to let them know all about it. George Ford to kick this one into touch. Be about 25 metres out from their own line here, England. So just slowly building up the field. Call 99 England. Says Sebastian and Henry Pollock. Oh, says Ruth. Luke Cowan Dickey. Last line out was unsuccessful. Cowan Dickey not happy with the towel there, but he just threw it on the ground. So, of course, it's going to be wet if you're going to chuck it on a turf. But he has got that ball now, and he's under pressure from McCarthy, who somehow has ended up with the ball on the ground. I don't know whether or not that was legal, but Ireland have got the ball. And now get themselves the attacking chance from just inside of England's 22. Jameson gives a back, goes across to Crowley. He's lined up from a long way back from Maro Itoje, welcoming him to the number 10 jersey. A good run from Jameson Gibson Park. Furlong plays half. Running it forward was Gary Ringrose. They're 10 metres out from the line now. Islanders, they look to shift it right. Advantage in their favour. Now quick hands from Gibson Park once more. Goes off to James Ryan. Trying to get that steal in the breakdown there for England, and they're pretty close to being able to get it now. Crowley, wide cut-out pass. Going to James Lowe. One more shovel on to Dan Sheehan. Looking towards the corner. Taken down by George Ford. Does have to make a very crucial tackle out wide. Was probably hoping to just not have to. But Dan Sheehan had a target running straight towards them. Oh, good steal from Itoje in the breakdown. They'll go back now for the penalty. England playing into the Irish hands. And says Sebastian. And we have got there as well. Wait. They are taking the points there, Southgate. It would make sense early on in this contest. Real test match type of feel, like I said. And Yeah, it looks like Doris is calling over the tee. Going forward, says Ruth. And he's awesome. He reminds me of Scott Berger and McCaw. Says Ruth there. So Jack Crowley will get the first kicking attempt of the day. Last time these two sides played at Twickenham, it was a 3-point fest in the first half. I believe there was one try for England and the rest were all 3-pointers, 5 of which were scored in that contest. Going into the halftime break at 12 points to 8. Now, I don't think we're quite going to get that. I think that this one's going to ramp up just a little bit more as we progress. The kick has gone over from Crowley, and that is now going to make the score 3-0 in favour of the Irish. And Ireland now leading in this match. Steve Borthwick does look about the same as he did during the national anthem. Hasn't really changed the facial expression whatsoever. 3 points to Ireland, says Kelly Blake. The ball now in the hands of the Irish off the knock-on from England. Going short side, Luckman goes to low. Of course, has that long left boot. Possession 67% in favour of the Irish at the moment. Ford receives the ball from Stewart. And will now kick this one high. The chase from Stewart incoming. All trying to win that ball in the air was Jack Crowley. Knocks it back onto the side of James Lowe. Now looking for the 50-22. Awkward bouncing ball, but cleaned up by Ford once more. They seem to be up for this match. We look more lively around the pitch, says Barry. Yeah, there's something about this game. Last 2 years that have just brought out some of the best from these two sides. And it's got a real back and forth kind of feel about it. Even though we're only 9 minutes in, here's the ball in the hands of Arundel. He knows how to score tries. He seems to do it each and every week. All ball was out, and that's a penalty against McCarthy. Diving in off his feet at the back of the English breakdown. Now England have the chance of adding the 3. As swing low, sweet chariot, and if we lose this, the player's going to be sent to the tower, says Sebastian, and up 3 up for green, says Danielle. Right, this one's about 45, maybe 47 on the angle, and Ford opts for the corner option rather than the kick at the post. Is that just due to the distance out from the goal line? Oh, and that's the mistake made by Ford, going right for the corner and ends up not quite finding touch. They will still have themselves the line out here, England, but it will be nowhere near as close to the line as they would have liked. Ford has to wipe that one from his memory and just go straight back to being reset. And Lordy Fordy says dunk. Go Ireland, says Stefan. Now rolling more for England, already making the 5 metres, but Ford being dragged down. Now Ford. He's ended up having to do some of the hard yards himself. In fact, it was Dingwall. I think still has one of the most fun names to say in all of world rugby. Now Mitchell goes off to the left-hand side. Ben Earl cuts back in away from the challenger, Tyke Byrne. Now Mitchell, once again opting for the short side. Arundel tackled in the one-on-one by Jameson. Gibson Park offload up to Genge. 11 minutes through this contest, of which has been completely fast-paced the whole way through. Ball to Henry Pollock, well gathered. After a bit of the thumb ball early. Now Mitchell goes to Ford. Numbers here for England. Just couldn't quite free up their hands there for George Ford in the 10 jersey. Joe Hayes cuts back inwards. Crowd starting to cheer that little bit louder as England have their best attacking chance of the whole game. Mitchell going back short to Henry Pollock. Lined up by Joe McCarthy, but managed to get through him before being dragged down by Josh van der Fleer. Now Ford goes across to Lawrence. Breaks through 2. Sits down. Stuart McCluskey, that is not an easy task to do. Mitchell, short there, all spins out of it. Ellis Genge works his way that little bit closer to the goal line. Almost might have milked a penalty advantage here in their favour too. No, Piatti says that Josh van der Fleer couldn't go anywhere. Now Mitchell back across 5 metres out from the line for England. Moving it away. George Ford has about 4 options on the outside, but opts for the short pass instead to another forward. Rush defence from Balakoon does brilliantly and knocks the ball free out of the English hands. Kick downfield from Ireland and it finds touch 45 metres out. That is the first big effort from Ireland on attack, from England on attack. But the Irish have managed to survive it. I want to see some good ruggers tackle well, says JP. And also Pollock on the ball. And come on, boys, close, says Sebastian there. And also g'day, says Woody's Woodwork. Welcome in. And I want England to win this one, says Jan. Apparently they are still considered as the favourite. But boy, that was a big bump off from Ollie Lawrence. Sat down Jeremy Luckman and McCluskey in the end. Oh, what's happening now? Time is off currently. I assume that's just for checking a player. Wasted opportunity, says Eric. Oh no, that's getting a boot back on for Luke Cow and Dickey. And great boots on Atoje, says Sebastian. And Henry is the next big thing, and Dupont. But the commemorative boots for Maro Atoje here for his 100th game for England. Actually, I want England to do well. I want the best version of England when they play South Africa. Come on, Ireland, you can do it, says Trev. Asking for a little bit more of a separation in the gap again here. Or the line out. Ready to get this ball in. Nicely claimed by England. 42 metres out from the Irish line on the far side of the field. Good spot tackle made on Tom Curry by Ryan. Been told to use it, so it looks like Mitchell from inside of the Irish half will look for the box kick up high. Going up for a Robert Bellacoon, nicely taken. Under the high ball, had an impressive game last week. Was looking forward to getting another opportunity, and he has received it the very next weekend. Gibson Park off to the right, rush defence from England. Doesn't quite shut down the quick hands, though. And as long as he doesn't have lead in those boots, says Eric. And rock hard defence by Ireland, says Hardest. Yeah, it's been a solid defensive effort from both of these sides so far. Predominantly Ireland, though, in terms of the amount of tackles that they've had to make. Now, Dingwall goes out to Ollie Lawrence. Freddie Stewart, big fin there. Oh, that's a hard collision for Ringrose. He might have almost eaten the elbow of James Lowe, but he's right back up to his feet. Now, ball fumbled. England back defending. Step from Dan Sheehan. Round his opposite number. Gibson Park going now. Ball on the outside. Bounces to McCluskey. Oh, great hands, though. Out wide from Tommy Freeman. Manages to shut down the attack. There were about 3 men on the outside for Ireland, and they were going for the lobby ball over the top. But Freeman shut it down in its tracks. Now left-hand side. Dingwall goes on the outside to Tom Curry. Arundel being just about wrestled into touch. There's a knock-on the ground from England. And it is now a scrum feed to Ireland. 14 and a bit minutes gone in this game. Neither side willing to budge at all. We've seen the 3 points to Ireland. That is all at this stage of the match. As a South African with Scott's mum, I can't legally describe how much I want England to lose, says Robert. And it helps the skelter, says Duncan. I don't believe this is what is happening to England. Will this game have any outcome on the number one rankings, says Hardest. I don't think either of these sides can make it to number one at the moment in the calculator. 1 second. World Rugby rankings calculator. I know that one of these two sides can get a nice little hefty boost, but I don't think they can go to number one. But at the moment, Ireland, if they were to win this game, they would advance up to number 4. So they would knock England down to number 5. And if Ireland were to win this game by a decent margin, which is more than 15, they would end up going ahead of France and knock France down to 4th. Whereas if England were to win this game, they stay in 4th. If they win it by 15 or more, they go to 3rd. So pretty much whoever wins this game by 15 or more would go right up to 3rd place. If Ireland win, they go to 4th. If England win, they stay in 4th. And number 1 and 2 and safe, says Badzer. And we have got their rankings are pish, says Eric. Now James Gibson Park. Oh no. Once again, we're getting another scrum where both sides have to stand up in the front rows. Capiari not too happy with what he's seeing so far in terms of the scrum time. That has been seen by about the 3 or 4 resets. Well, rankings, says Fleshin. But yeah, rankings suck. Yeah, see, it only... Well, the World Cup draw was where the world rankings were really important. But then even so, it was the top 6 all had the same, like, I guess, qualification situation. And then it was the next 6 were in their own boat. So it wasn't really, like, I don't think teams got the massive advantage that they should have for the rankings, if that makes sense. Now Gibson Park goes across to McCluskey, but penalty awarded there for England at scrum time. And they're fired up at the moment. Definitely Pollock and Atoje don't care about the world rankings. The Six Nation champion for me, says Barry. It's still raining in Colombo. I also think I saw a few drops falling at Allianz Stadium here. George Ford again, kicking for the corner. Tell you what, He's butchered that one again, George Ford. That is now the second time that he has kicked the ball dead, or, sorry, made a mistake off the kick. That one hasn't quite worked out. He's kicked it dead. The one before that, he wasn't able to find touch. And I wish they'd put some mustard with the beef. JP and my team Ireland scrum is such a liability. Needs to improve next year. And not running in London at the moment, says I know. He must have just been the camera then. That made it look like there were a couple drops that were falling before. And also, we have got there, it's a question about who will lose. So here's Leon, and whoever loses this game, they will be out of the running for the Guinness Six Nations competition. Whoever wins still has a chance. If it is England, they would have to take down France in the final round, though, and receive bonus points up until that game. And Ford is off so far, says Sakili. Yeah, they haven't quite made the most of him in that 10 jersey. Possibly still thinking about that game last week up against Scotland, but has to refocus. Now running after this one, it's going to be Tommy Freeman looking to go aerial. He manages to slap it back for Maro Itoje, 40 metres out from Ireland's line. Even a draw kills their even a draw kills their chance. Yeah, no, neither of these sides want a draw. Ford is great, but the Scotland game and the game so far not looking great, says JP. Now Mitchell going off to the right-hand side, past there. Lawrence goes to Tommy Freeman. Now Ford off to Henry Pollock. Low tackle on him by Josh van der Fleer. Ford, skip pass, going in behind. Looks like some sort of set piece was about to take place for England, but it only reached as far as Ben Earl. Stewart again goes for the short side option. Stewart with the quick hands out to Arundel, moves up to 22 out. Making good meters at the moment for this English side. 10 phases in. Ben Earl again with that flat attacking run. Now quick hands from Hayes, goes to Maro Itoje. He starts crawling close to the line as he can. Dingwall goes to Ollie Lawrence. 10 metres out, Mitchell finds Stewart. Skip pass out to Freeman. Big chance here in the wider channel, but dragged down 5 short. Mitchell now fires it off to Ellis Genge. He'll be a couple metres short of the line too. Looking left, Maro Itoje. In his 100th game, he's going to be held up by Furlong and eventually wrestled down. Now to Ford. Short pass to Luke Cowan-Dickie. Looks like they're just taking their time here, England. Henry Pollock tackled low. Tries to get back up. I feel like he was held there, but the referee says play on. Ford goes short to Ellis Genge. He wasn't ready for it. And now picked up by Ringrose. Kicked downfield by James Lowe, who's on one leg, by the way. He looked like he was done for in this game. Some sort of injury. And then his teammate forces him to kick it downfield. But I don't think Lowe has got back to his feet as of yet. But now, 40 metres out. They are going short side. They know Lowe's defending on one leg. Pollock went for the grubber of mine. Just a bit of a fumble there. But Lowe is still down here, ladies and gentlemen. Been so much that has happened throughout this first 18 minutes. And yeah, Lowe's in a huge amount of pain. And I'm sure that kick probably didn't help. And Ford is great at club level. He's not the best international player, says Stu. Oh my gosh, the final pass is killing the roses, says Sakili there. Yeah, both sides are going to be enjoying just a bit of a drinks break here. I love the world ranking. Shows how good you really are. Those who say it doesn't matter, can't beat the box of the All Blacks. They lose to Scotland, says Michael. Although it does depend on who's in number one as to whether or not the rankings fully matter. At least from our experience in terms of the chat. There was a little while ago where we did see other sides in the number one spot, and that was when they didn't count, apparently. But, like, at the end of the day, whoever wins that World Cup, they are the number one team. And yes, it can change a little bit up until the next World Cup, but that's the pinnacle of the game. The Nations Championship now going to be a good way of judging teams year by year. And the sides that win that may not even be in the top 3 in the world rankings. That's the part that makes it so exciting, with so many sides able to beat other teams inside of that top 10. And Lowe's done for the day. He might be done for the season here. But James, though, looks like he's limping that left knee or left leg. So we do see Tommy O'Brien now make his way out onto the field. James Lowe's leg very strapped. It looked like he did have a fair amount of strapping on it, so maybe even had a bit of an injury heading into this game. Problem for France is they aren't all available. The backup is miles off of the best team, says JP. And what happened to Lowe? I think it was just in the collision And then from there, he had to kick a ball on the injured leg too. We got no chance beating France or the Kiwis. We're nowhere near it, says Sebastian. A huge loss with Lowe. Yeah, you just lose that massive long boot on the near side of the field, but so much more than that. Ball running from Lowe is dangerous too. And the early change is something that Ireland would have very much liked to avoid. It's a big push from England, but Ireland still get their own scrum. Now moving away to the right-hand side, McCluskey passes it with a wide cut-out pass into the hands of Robert Balakoon. He's going to back himself a pace. Goes on the inside, and already we're going to see O'Brien with the ball in hand, even though he's only been on the field for approximately 15 seconds. Now Gibson Park goes off to the left. Crowley, Ringrose, linking up with James Ryan, taken down on the 22 by Genge. Now Crowley looping around beautifully there, the attack and fly half. Now McCarthy, pick and go. Lures in 3 defenders. Now picked up by Tyburn. The penalty is awarded in through the side. Quick tap taken by Gibson Park. And he scores the first try of the match. The Irish up by 8 at Twickenham. But that is smart play from a very smart halfback who always seems to notice when those little bits of a gap in a defence are open. Takes it quickly. And does score the try for Ireland, the first of the day. We have got there Galtier who made the choice to counter the scrum of Italy, but our wingers will make the difference, says Chris Ace. And England are an embarrassment, says Stephen. And Hard Angle says, I was there from 0. Yeah, we see it there straight away. Tyburn gave the ball to Jamison Gibson Park, and then only man back covering there was Joe Hayes. And in a foot race, you'd have to back Gibson Park most of the time in that scenario. And go the Irish, says Daryl. Hamish looks like it's been a tough day for England. It is, or it'll be a tough day, I see there, rather than it's a tough day. Yeah, still early, though, in this contest, but a very good start to this match for the Irish, and a brilliant kick from Crowley from the sideline, adding the additional 2 and making the score now 10 points to 0. And Ford get him off, playing like a, says Rick. And also we have got the Irish draw. First blood, says Roof there, but Andy Farrell, he was celebrating big time. I don't think I've seen him that animated for a long time. But he just probably shows the rivalry between these two sides. This is on Ford so far. He can't even kick the ball into touch. Yeah, a couple mistakes so far. Nice take from O'Brien. Now I've been told to use it here for Gibson Park once more. 21 minutes down in this contest and 10 points to 0 in favour of this Irish team. I'm short of a wooden spoon. Says Eric, man, England have played well enough to be even on the points, says JP. We need all the support we can get, says Sebastian there as well. Okay, the commentator's just pretty much saying, don't mess around with the ball inside of your own 22. Oh, what's happening now? Luke Cowan-Dickie heading infield. I think that is due to an injury of Jeremy Luckman. Looks like ankle. The last thing they want to have is another player does end up with an injury here for Ireland. Keep flying high, Ireland, says Trev. We keep dropping the ball every time we're near there, though, Joe. And England huff and buff. Ireland one attack score, says Rick. And forward with some schoolboy errors is very weird, says JP. Yeah, maybe just that, like I said, the pressure of this game. Getting to Ford a little bit in the early stages. Now, is he going to find his rhythm later on? I probably think so. But if he doesn't, they do still have that backup option of Marcus Smith. Get Ford out. The game is pathetic, says Stephen Pope. And come on, England, says Nick. And England 1 quarter given. And will we go up to 4th and England drop to 5th in the rankings if we win? No, I don't think so. I think it's only if... Oh, no, in fact, no. Ireland only need to win by 1 to go up to 4th. It's if they want to go up to 3rd, they have to win by 15 or more. Or I think it's, 16 or more, in fact. They would go ahead of France. Get Ford out. Rassi ruthlessness needed from Borthwick here. Needs to take Ford off ASAP and gives Park as an Irish legend, says Hardis. We're now looking for a steal, but that is going to be the penalty awarded to Ireland there. Work in the breakdown. Who's first, second, and third? First South Africa, second New Zealand, third France. And Ireland are playing the same attacking game Italy did last week, says Arno. We have a big crowd. And then you get these donkeys playing like this, and go Ireland, says Red. It looks like Jack Crowley is going to be taking on the 3 points. And that is one thing that when you have him out in the starting lineup, Crowley, rather than Sam Prendergast, you can guarantee your 3 points wherever you are. Well, this is going to jinx it, isn't it? I've just realized I'm going to give him the commentator's curse. He's going to miss this kick because of me saying that. But Crowley, at least, even with the miss here, he'd be 2 from 3 in this scenario, which is still extremely handy for the Irish and at least gives them a chance of adding those additionals. And we have got the England getting cooked at home and missed Welps yourself, kid, so you must be ahead of me because I haven't seen the kick as of yet. You're still lining it up for myself. And Crowley, he did just hook that one away to the left-hand side. Hasn't gone dead either. Bring on Smith, says Sebastian. Ireland look poor past 2 games. England once again giving so many penalties away. Can't break through. Italy will beat us, says Rick. I need England to play better. No fun picking on a dead horse. And we have got there. I was going to say don't jinx it. I knew that I was going to, though. A match is abandoned now. Pakistan versus New Zealand. The T20 World Cup. Now Jack Crowley kicking that one up high. O'Brien. Oh, there was a bit of a change of line there. And it sits up for Gibson Park. But no, the referee will rule it back for something. What's this one going to be for? I think it's maybe a knock-on. Oh, no. Penalty for England there. In the air. He thinks that big time, says Fleshin. Lord, oh well. Right, what are we looking for here? Playing the arm in the ear from O'Brien. And he did grab Freddie Stewart. So that is what the penalty is for. It's not a penalty. It normally is. And all the South Africans are Irish today, says David. And time for Ireland to shine, says Fred. But now England have got themselves the line-out chance. About 35 metres out from the line. Oh. Okay, Piatti was about to stop the game, but luckily, whatever it was that was going to be stopped for, they decided to move on. So line out taken, now overthrown by England, picked up by Dan Sheehan. Running it straight at George Ford again. That seems to be happening quite a bit throughout this game. They are targeting Ford as defence. McCluskey gets the offload away after tackled by Maro Atoje. The ball goes into the hands of Arundel, though, off the little grubber attended by Ireland. Just out from their own line. That's a little bit too high from Ollie Lawrence, and the penalty awarded to the Irish. South African fans wouldn't want wouldn't South African fans, wouldn't we be wanting to face the best version of England, says JP. That one took a little bit to get through, but we got it in the end. Borthwick has it under control. It's all part of the plan, says Stephen. That kick has found touch from Ireland. Now 35 metres out from their line. Irish tails up, England's head down, says Dunk. Luckman. Oh, okay, big change here. Alex Mitchell is off and Jack Van Poortvliet is on. So both sides have lost a player early due to injury. Run forth from Josh van der Fleer. Additioning in, what's happening here, says Jameson. Yeah, it's been a hectic start, but Ireland have controlled the early stages of this game. George Ford has had a couple crucial errors when looking for touch. They have led to that ball going back on the side of the Irish. Now Ben Earl inside of his own half. Well, it joins the breakdown alongside Ellis Genge. Total robbery, says Titanium. Total robbery. Which one? And fought out of his depth. Well, nicely taken. Tyke Byrne goes across to Joe McCarthy. Finds his offload away to Luckman. South Africans are now Irish after spending years hating big time on them on social media, says Fleshin. Yeah, the alliances can change a lot throughout a Six Nations competition. And even week to week, you see different sides receiving the majority of support. Now Gibson Park rolling back once more. I'm a Springbok. If England lose this game, what would that mean to the supporters, the Six Nations and so on? Says Arno. I mean, they wouldn't be happy. But it would also mean that the Six Nations more than likely would go to either Ireland or France. Now going off to the right-hand side, moving it across. Once more, McCluskey breaks the line. He shows off his pace, but he will be dragged out just 5 metres short of the try line. Now Gibson Park recycles quickly, passes to Robert Balakoon, and he scores the try out wide. It's the second for Ireland. And they are on fire at the moment in this contest. says Sebastian, which I think pretty much sums up what Borthwick will be feeling at the moment. It is all over again from what we saw last week up against Scotland. If anyone want reliable, Owen Farrell would be the choice, surely. I prefer Marcus Smith myself. It's all part of Borthwick's plan. It's all under control, says Stephen. And Great Island beating a 16-man team. You still didn't tell me which one you felt was the wrong decision, though, Titanium. You just said total robbery, but which one was it in that case? And Balakoon does nicely to score in the corner. And we have got the Gibson Park dangerous, says Ruth, and it's over, it's done, says Sebastian. The odds will be interesting now. Ireland came in as $5 underdogs in this game, ladies and gents. Oh! Referee Piatti has that ball in hand. The ear cons. Oh, 15's off, Freddie Stewart. The ear contest. To be fair, he did play the arms. Like, I can understand why that was a penalty. It normally is about 90% of the time. So, like, that one will be an agree to disagree. But I feel like at the end of the day, if you do end up playing a guy and you hit him on the shoulders and the arm, you're going to get yourself penalised for the contest in the ear. It's just unfortunate that Jameson Gibson Park was going to be running through a gap to score had that not happened. These England players need to be slapped so they can wake up. It's embarrassing. Turn this off. Yeah, $5 underdogs Ireland. And now, just out of curiosity, Ireland is still only $1.37 favourites. How can they be up by such a margin and still only be... Oh, no, it's been suspended again. Maybe that's why. But the missed kick from Crowley. So I've really put the mockers on his kicking now, unfortunately, in this match. It's been 33 years since the team behind at halftime. They come back and win. Go Ireland and playing with 14 men, 15 points down. As the game plan, says Stephen. And I know, says Danielle. As disappointed, no return for England. And Ireland do have a strong bench to keep the pressure, says Arno. 9 minutes remaining of that Freddie Stewart yellow card too. Just tuned in. Ireland only winning by 15. Are we playing that bad? Says Charlie. Will tell you what, they're about to get another one. Josh Van der Flair running up the middle of the field. Here's Gibson Park with him, but a great tackle made by Henry Pollock to be able to shut it down, but still the counter-attack for Ireland. They are scrambling here. England's defence, but getting back to cover. Very nicely done by Henry Arundel. That's falling apart, says JP. And agree to disagree, says Titanium. Yeah. And I feel like it's probably, there's a bit of, not bias, but just more so, you know, you wanted that try, if that makes sense. And even the ref can't keep up with the game, says South Kid. Oh, referee's down with an injury here. He actually went like that as well. I thought he was saying that someone was getting subbed. He's the one getting subbed. He's decided he's done for in this game by the looks of it for Piatti. Who's going to be replacing him? That just shows how quickly this game is going. Cricket is about to be abandoned, says Padza. Right, yeah, Piatti's done. He has blown something. And it's not his whistle. That still sounds dodgy. I meant like he's blown something in his leg. Right. He's shaking his head. I think he's done for here, Piatti. Just shows that the referees are humans too. I think England let their thrashing of us go to their heads. They look poor, says Fleshin. And the value of the city number 10 can't be underestimated, says JP. And do we... I know that this is pretty harsh, and he's not playing in this game, so it feels a bit rough to say this to him, or say it, but is that why Ireland are doing well? Because they've got Crowley at the helm rather than Prendergast. Right, referee, he's just shaking hands with the two captains. He's done for. And he is finished for the game. And it means that now the replacement, Pierre Brousset, will get ready to go. My body's gone, says Michael. And it was too busy laughing at England. Pulled the muscle, says I am nutty. And one of the match fixing is this, says Sakili. Yeah, I wonder what the odds were for the referee not finishing this matchup. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. He's still walking on it rather than fully having to be carried off. Take your cards and go home, says Samuel. Yeah, Pierre Brousset. They are just going to have a little bit of a stoppage here because they have to replace the gear and make sure that the referee has it all intact, the new one that is. I don't know, but Italy looks to have more of a chance than Wales. Says our underdog pick. We have got there, the ref is more, or was more physical than the English. says Charlie. Looks like Jamie George also not a mile away from making his way onto the field after just the 29 minutes. And what a half hour, wheels falling off England's chariot. And French ref now, not the Italian one. So French ref now in charge of this game. The try for Robert Balakoon out wide. Ireland have got themselves 2 tries so far in this game, so they need 2 more to get themselves the bonus point. But it does not happen too often that you see the referee out. And we have got the, what a half hour though. It's been hectic. And there's still a yellow card in play. 8.5 minutes. So far a good game. And Gibson Park reminds me of Reinach. Can spot and gap, or spot a gap, I assume that is, and got some gas. That's what changed from last year's England. A team that had 13 years, or it's 13 streak, compared to this year's. Most of the same players. Why, says Arno. I'm probably not qualified to fully give an opinion on it, but I think that tactics have hurt them a little bit this year. In terms of just the Six Nations competition, it seems like the key players that they need to step up have been the ones who are the most shaky. You know, they're trying to play attacking rugby with a defensive team, and it just doesn't work. Oh, Balakoon breaks the line again. He's got O'Brien with him, and Tommy O'Brien scores the try. It's a third for the Irish here. The bench are all running on, celebrating. The score's 20-0, and this game has gone well and truly 180 compared to what was expected between these two sides. We want to finish it now. And I'm absolutely loving this, says Sakili there. And if what happened to England, says Mike, and also getting mauled, says Titanium. This isn't fun and I'm neutral, says JP. Yeah, it would be nice to see it be a little bit closer. It's a very impressive start to this game from Ireland, though. The way that they've been able to create their chances. Balakoon is on fire out there. Well, I got that wrong, says Michael. And crowd must boo these players. Absolutely pathetic. Now I'd like to see what the odds are. Ireland were $1.37. Now they're $1.10. England only dropping to $6.30 underdogs. And that one, the conversion has gone over 22-0 after 30 minutes. 22-0. 30 minutes in. I love seeing England lose. I feel good right now. Says Everything Gaming. Now, what's the point with England? They put Valium in their food or what? What? I don't even know what Valium is. Coach has to go, says Sebastian. And the best team in the world being destroyed, says WLK. And England pish, says Benzi. I've never heard the word pish before, and it's been used twice today. So I guess maybe it's just a new, is it a new thing or is it an old word? Gibson Park kicks this one high. Chasing after this one. Oh, no, that one's going to be knocked on by England. And an accidental offside, I think that would have been from Tom Curry, but it is going back for the scrum instead. This is awesome, says Pix. England defence coach from Timu, says Joey Mills. They don't look fit enough to me, says Sebastian. Valium is a sedative to sedate and calm down. England chasing shadows at the moment. Ireland's record win is 13 points to 13. February 2007 versus England. Was that at home or away, I am nutty? A bit of a job on here, chaps. Currently handling her is 9 from England. Oh, the voice didn't like saying 9. But 2 from Ireland. Balakoon very strong. Now you asking? Says I am nutty. What do you mean now I'm asking? I did, yeah. Because you said the stats, so now I'm curious. We have got the Ireland paid England to throw the game so that their world rankings can improve. And England-Wales game catfished everyone to think England were good again. I'm asking these questions because Scotland were total underdogs and they stepped up in the losing situation. What will the English say? We had an off day, says Arno. Well, it's a tricky one because the game's not over and Scotland are a perfect example of being up by this margin and going on to lose. So we have to wait for the full-time siren first, you know, because you just never know. And sorry, anyone who supports Scotland for bringing that up again. I know I promised that I wouldn't. It was in Ireland. Okay. Do I follow up or will you get annoyed if I ask what the record win is in England for the Irish? I feel like I won't push my luck seeing as you're in a bad mood. Oh, that's going to be knocked on. And it is going to be now the scrum feed here for Ireland once again. So that is now 10 handling errors for the English. They brought up the double digits. And we have the Ireland and Scotland for the Triple Crown. Says Charlie. I'd never have predicted this score a surprise, and kind of surprised, but also not, says Sergio. I think anyone who backed Ireland for $6 as the underdog will be pretty surprised with what's happening here, but they'll be very happy. But currently 5 minutes still remaining. England are down to 14, we should mention. They did have that yellow card. At the moment, Finn Baxter having a chat to Kate Middleton. He'll be saying, yep, no, this isn't how we normally play, Kate. We normally catch the ball. 32-15. Says I'm nutty. And also biggest away win. I think Ireland's biggest win in Twix, 17 or only 17 points in 2022. Yeah, so it seems like that's the same one. So this is heading towards history if they continue playing the way that they are. Imagine England and Wales fighting for the wooden spoon, says Miguel. English pundits telling everyone England to win the Six Nations. I assume you're saying before the comp, right? Rather than currently. Although whoever wins this game, I said it at the start, they still keep their hopes alive of winning the Six Nations competition. Gibson Park. We need to feed this ball in once more. Substitute Henry Pollock in England will come back and win. Says Thunderbolt. He's probably been one of the better players out there on the field, though, for the English at this point in time. Speaking of, just got the turnover in the breakdown. So you may have jigsed that one big time. England on the counter-attack. George Ford trying to put in the hard yards. Maybe waited a little bit too long to pass that ball, though. Needed to get it away to the speedster Rundle early, but Ford saw some glory. And maybe saw a bit of redemption there too. Hello from Padraig. And also getting nothing wrong with Pollock, says JP. You know, almost just got the try opportunity for the English there. I see England got no power, no skills. Says Martin, and France are too hot to get beaten. And who could live with them? Says Charlie. That one's going to be kicked in a touch, but still an attacking chance here for England for one of the first times in quite some time. And Kate is still recovering from Christmas, says Stephen. And Tojo is going to remember test number 100, says Ruby. But here it is. Ford needed to pass to Arundel then. Early on, I think Arundel would have beaten O'Brien in terms of a stepping competition. But he just hung on to it long, and you could see that little look. It was a subtle one from Arundel looking at Ford as if to say, look, you set me up there, mate. Like, that was not the right timing. England will mess up. And also we have got there, as a Kiwi, who would you like to lose more, Oz or the English? I don't really like seeing any side lose, but I think that's where I'm slightly different to some people. Like, people will wake up and hope that a side does terribly. And that's like the main goal for the day. But this is the thing. I'd like to see this game get a little bit closer. I feel like it will test the Irish if it is closer as well and show really how much they have improved from just last week. A law of averages suggests Ford will get one decision right soon, says Eric. A little bit of a counter-ruck there from the Irish. No penalty goes against Caelan Doris. Ford needs to be hooked, says Fleshin. Ford is abysmal. Just joining. I love this score, as I think the English played a bit dirty last weekend. Says on the right. And what is happening to England in the scoreline? All that kick has found touch now from George Ford. He made sure of it. About 15 metres from the line now. Jamie George already on the field for Luke Cowan-Dickey. Can you imagine England being, I assume that's nailed at home. I can't wait for England to play the Springboks. There's WLK, and they did get the line out. Almost. Did they get the lifeline? Yes, they did. Playing the arm of Maro Itoje. After knocking that one on, England need a Red Bull, says Chris Ace. Yeah, if you're England here, you just have to look at this as terrible first half, score a try late, and then look to rebuild in the second 40. It should be closer than this, says Ruan Nell. Yeah, they've now got another chance here. Because if you go into the halftime break, 22 points to 7. Don't get me wrong, still not great, but better than 22-0. Nice take from Itoje. Set piece here from England. Jamie George, just the 1 metre short. Tyke Byrne, though, was on the ball. And I think he's won the turnover. Yes, he has. Massive celebrations there. Itoje goes straight to the referee to ask whether or not it was legal, but lightning quick was Tyke Byrne in that breakdown. And well, says Akili there. We have got there England talking too much, talking nonsense like Eddie Jones. Eddie Jones has been gone from England for a long time, though, hasn't he? He left a lasting memory on a lot of people. Oh, yeah, mate, we just didn't quite get that one right, mate. We're gonna build upon it, mate. I'm going to go to Australia. And then leave to Japan as well, just to add an extra feather in the cap. Freddie Stewart back out on the field. The yellow card has concluded. And Ireland are playing running rugby, England kick. And go Ireland, go for the 50. And Ireland can play against their under-20s for a test, says Charlie. Now Jan Sheehan. Throwing this ball in. I love the way all the haters are wetting themselves with glee. Oh, overthrown there, so given a chance for the English just before the halftime break. Now Jack Van Porfliet goes to Ben Earl. Middle of the field, 25 metres out. What can they get going here? Freddie Stewart, he'll be fresh after coming back on. South Africa will hammer the English if they play like this against the Springboks. I thought they were supposed to hammer them no matter how they played. But now going forward, 15 metres from the try line. Now, good hands from, that's an ugly chop to the kneecap. And it looks like Joe McCarthy, he's going to be on a foot race. They're going to go back here. I think there's a knock-on from Ireland. Now, we have got there, I need to get some Guinness. What a performance from Ireland. When your head gets bigger than the game, you lose, says Arno. And we have got England's most successful coach, mate, says Samuel. And I'm in England and supporting Ireland. And South Africa, no, I read that one, didn't I? But yeah. Okay, they've said that he's jumping there. I don't think there was much of a rap attempt there from Jamison Gibson Park. Or at least it didn't look like it. It was very much shoulder. But then the arm came around after the collision. So maybe they'll say it's all right because of the jump as well. Probably forced it to happen a little bit earlier. How many games has Ireland won? In the Six Nations or in general? In the Six Nations so far, they have won one game, lost one. Currently 20 seconds remaining. England have got themselves a scrum fee visit to the opposition 22-5 for both of these sides, whereas Ireland have got themselves 4.4 points on average per visit. England have not got themselves any, and here comes Marcus Smith. And that's going to be for Freddie Stewart. So Ford remains out there. Now we have got the Eddie Jones of rugby without the medals, says Charlie. Italy beat France. And this will be the best Six Nations I've watched, says Sergio. And also, this is the closest I've heard you get Splinter on the fence. Are there about Eddie Jones? Wait, a Splinter on the fence or off the fence? What did I say about him? I feel like I just did an impression of him. I quite like Eddie Jones, though, to be fair. He's quite funny in interviews. Now, Jack Van Porfliet. Oh, free kick. Goes the way of England, taking that one quickly. Now, Dingwall goes on the outside. England have the numbers, but again, brilliant defence from Ireland. Jack Van Porfliet moves it quickly to Ben Earl, cuts back in. Tackled by Doris. He's looking for the steal. He's given away the penalty advantage. This could almost be a yellow card for the Irish here too. Ollie Chisholm taking the collision. And Eddie is the man, says Mega Multi. What are the odds for Italy versus England now? They normally don't do them until these games are all finished for this round. But now going off to the left, Marcus Smith steps across, taken down again. The advantage is still in play. Jack Van Porfliet, was that illegal? Yes, it was from Tyke Byrne. I think Ireland are going to shoot themselves in the foot here if they give away one more advantage. George Ford thought about going through, gives it to Freeman, who is 1 metre short again. This is some of the best defence we've seen from the Irish in quite some time. Joe Hayes tries to fall over the line, and again 1 metre out. There are about 4 Irishmen in there. Ollie Chisholm, 1 metre short again. Looked like no advantage was about to be played by Pierre Brosset. Now across, George Ford, Marcus Smith, short ball, England over, and they score before the halftime break. It is Dingwall who does manage to get it. Such a fun name to say. We have got it's coming home, since Sebastian Ireland's defence has been immense. Yeah, incredible goal line defence there from the Irish, just out from the goal line, weren't budging. And then it's a beautiful pop pass to Freeman. just short of the goal line. Few more desperation tackles from the Ireland defence. And then Marcus Smith just delays his pass to Fraser Dingwall, slams it down over the try line. And England now, they're a long way off it, but they are slightly back into this contest. Went allowed half-time until England scored, says Mega Maori. Right, bit of a conversation there between Pierre Brosset and one of the English players. I think it's Atoje. And this will end 40 points to 12, says Alistair, as his score prediction. George Ford does add the additional 2. That is now halftime, and what has been an incredibly eventful half of Six Nations rugby. England 7, Ireland 22 at Twickenham Stadium. Now we have got their Ford is related to the head coach, that's why. And also now take Ford off, although they have made a change already. In fact, they've made their back replacements. Jack Van Porfleet, he is on the field at the moment. That was for Alex Mitchell, who suffered an injury earlier on in this game. And Marcus Smith is on the field for Freddie Stewart due to him getting a yellow card. So Ford, no matter whether the English want him or not, he's out there for the rest of this game unless there's some sort of other injury. And that comes into play. I'll get that 50-22 to England as my prediction, says Stephen. It's down to 2 minutes ahead, but my texts are 2 minutes behind, says Michael. And also, we have got their sets up the second half. It does. And like I said, England need a bare minimum 7 points from that first half. The fact that they have been able to score last gives them some sort of sniff of being able to come back if they score early in the second half as well. There's still so much that can happen, though, in this Six Nations competition. And, you know, I think it's going to be a hectic 40 minutes. That first half lived up to expectations in terms of eventfulness, but it just was maybe a bit more one-sided than people were anticipating. These are the upcoming games. These are the games that will determine the Six Nations competition, not including the matches this round. Next game will be Scotland versus Wales at the Principality. That game kicks off in only around an hour and 30 minutes time. And then alongside that, there is also France versus Italy that is taking place tomorrow morning, New Zealand time, or tomorrow afternoon for you guys in the north, as well as in South Africa. But these are the 6 remaining games after this round that will be taking place. If England can somehow pull off a miraculous upset and come back and win this game, that game up against the French will determine the Six Nations. If not, and if the Irish can then beat Wales and Scotland in their next 2 games after winning this game with a bonus point, their chances are still relatively high. But whoever wins this game stays in the comp. The loser can only do the other team a favour. So we'll wait to see what happens there. We have got there, is that great Henry Bullocks are playing for England. Got a couple crucial steals for the English throughout that first half, Henry Pollock. And then it was Ford, unfortunately, who did let it slip through the fingertips. But yeah, overall, probably one of the stronger players out there for England. Ben Earls had a couple good moments there too. And I don't think they've used Arundel enough as of yet. I went on the podcast saying Ireland were gone and over. Says wash and dry. It just shows, though, how quickly the rugby landscape can change. You know, one week you can play poorly. The next week you can look unstoppable. Ireland, I think that was one of the better halves that we have seen them play, I want to say, this year and perhaps even all throughout last year. And once again, I will slightly bring it up. Is it because they made the change at 10? I know that Prendergast versus Crowley, from an Irish perspective, there is normally a little bit of bias there in terms of who you go for, whether it's Leinster or Munster. But from a neutral perspective, this Irish attack has looked almost, I want to say, 5 times better than we saw last week and the week prior, to be fair. I don't think it's just Crowley, though. I think that it's also someone like a Robert Ballacoon who's really come into his own throughout this matchup, had some crucial moments, scored a try for the Irish there too. But it just seems a little bit different with the way that they've been attacking here. How's Crowley's performance? He's been solid. Ever since I mentioned how he was good off the kicking tee, though, he started missing. That's the only problem that he's really had. But outside of that, I think he's had some really good, smart play from that 10 jersey. And a couple decent kicks in behind. Does James Lowe do the fins up when he scores? He doesn't, but he sadly will not be scoring throughout the rest of this game. He has that injury that he did pick up in the first half that hopefully won't be a Six Nations ender for James Lowe, but it could be. At the end of the day, it's a tricky one when it comes to a lower leg injury. England were the favourites, big-time favourites. Ireland were $5 underdogs before the match got underway. And now, at the moment, the way the odds sit, they are $1.47 favourites. England are only $2.80 underdogs. So that just shows you how much this England side are rated, with the fact that they are expected to still be able to have half a chance of coming back in a game like this where they're down by the 15. And 16 unanswered points in the second half. But for whom, says Eric? And England are going to lose against Italy. And also, did someone tell me England would trash us over there? I am missing same thing. The guys are playing like a team. They have no idea that Ireland are never pushovers, says Dennis. And where's Lowe? He's injured. He ended up injured after about 20 minutes in the game. So we did see O'Brien make his way on, and then he scored not too long after that. Germany versus Belgium prediction for later today? No idea, to be honest. If they were playing sevens, maybe I would have a chance, but union-wise, no clue. I think the Irish don't like the English. Hamish, it's a history thing. You know what I mean, like the Scots as well, says John. And they have no chance, Hamish, says Stephen. And Gibson charged for being bald. And also we have the analysts. Analysts are all talking England up. When they lost to Scotland and now probably Ireland. Says bad to the bone. Yeah, I think it just shows that rugby's too unpredictable to try and call anyone an expert in this department, because even like the most loyal Irish supporters didn't see it sitting. Like at one point in this game, 22-0 to Ireland in the first half. Don't get me wrong, there were some who were hoping for a win, but 22 up, no one had that prediction at all that I have seen. So, that's the beauty of rugby, because anything can happen. You can have a side go out there and play a brilliant half. You can have a side go out there, drop the ball 10 times. And then the crazy thing about this game is we could see it reverse in the second half. See England score all the points. See Ireland drop all of the ball. Which is why you can never quite be sure until that full-time siren blows who is actually going to win this game. As some people suit being bald, I want to know if is their head polished? How do they get their heads to look so shiny? Says a sporting Kiwi. And a funny feeling Ireland would win, says bad to the bone. And Ireland's still a good side, says Christian. He doesn't bald from stress. And also we have got there, how did the ref get injured? Just from the pace. I think he was running and then ended up having the injury. As Pollock been Pollocking, he's been doing well throughout this game, Henry Pollock. Like I said, probably one of the better players out there on the field for the English. Getting a starting opportunity here rather than off the bench, where they do still have some pretty handy players in Underhill and Guy Pepper for the loose forwards. England would beat the Springboks B team, says Martin. And also we have got the Hamish Suits being bald and Suits looking like Jesus. I don't know if I suit bald, to be fair. I haven't quite gone bald. We had a buzz cut at one stage. Can you please share the link to watch the match? Sadly, there aren't too many. Oh, actually, no, there are a couple free options, depending on where you are in the world, though. It's on ITV in the UK. This is painful to watch, says Big Rig. And other try scores for England and for Ireland. Says Yuppie, so far for the English, we have seen the one try being scored right at the end of the first half. And that was from Fraser Dingwall. For the Irish, it's been Robert Ballacoon, Jamison Gibson Park, and also Tommy O'Brien off of the bench. Got there in the end. And who scored missed the first half? So just those three. The Mitchell Ford transmission did not transmit. Yeah, it didn't really work out. Jeff Van Porthley looked strong since he's made his way off the bench. So I feel like he's slightly got England back into this game. Pollock Magic not there. He's still been solid, though. Like, when you look at this English side as a whole, he has been one of the better guys. I haven't even seen Tom Curry out there on the field. But it is fun to hate Henry Pollock, as I've learnt from a lot of people around the world. It doesn't seem to matter what country they're from either. It just seems to be he is the one that, if you have half a chance to be able to talk some trash about him, you go for it. It seems to be a rule. They've actually written it in the rugby law book as well, that you have to have a bit of a crack at Pollock if you get the chance. England had to turn to the most Scottish man on the pitch to score. England have the talent, just don't know where they are, says Brian Crow. What a game, lad, says Skinny there, and go Ireland, give the Pommies a good drubbing, says Joe. Just showing the highlights of New Zealand versus Argentina in the sevens. Of course, the sevens will be coming back in the second week of March. We are going to be covering that one on the channel. all throughout the Vancouver Sevens. We've got the Six Nations has a bye week next week, but then back at it again the week after. So we get 1 week of the URC. I know hay fever at the moment, Hamish. Congratulations, man. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been good. I think it's just because it's getting closer to winter. And also, do you need to be a good side to hammer England? I doubt they could trouble the AB Springboks or Argentina. Are you basing it off how they're currently playing? Because England beat New Zealand only about 3 months ago. Pretty badly. Bad enough that New Zealand then had to go through a whole review process, sack their coach, and still don't have another one from panicking to switch him. So, that wasn't ideal for the Kiwis. So I don't know if they fall into that same category. Fought a flat track bully. Never produces when it matters, says Joey. Henry's all right with me. I can't wait to see the box bust him up, says By Vibe. And Ireland deserve this chance to fly high and shine bright. Yeah, Henry to save the day. New Zealand Rugby Old Boys Club. And also, who's the greatest threat to the box? And in terms of general, across the whole world or just from these two sides? Pollock is bloody good, says Jan. And also, what a crazy game so far, says I Lollipop. What happened to the bomb squad? They haven't brought them on yet. They've got the 2 back replacements out there, but they haven't made the changes in the 4-pack yet. I'd say they'll be on second half, though. Did the Force beat the Blues? No, the Blues managed to get themselves a win, but lost the bonus point from that one. Henry Pollock is the only rugby player in the UK. Rest is useless has-beens. I mean, Henry Arundel, he's pretty handy, isn't he? Tommy Freeman, one of the younger players with a lot of talent. There's actually quite a few. Ben Earl, you chuck him in that category as well. What happened to Bollocks? He's still out there on the field, still playing. The most recent time that we saw him, he got a turnover for his team that almost led to a try. I think Sebastian says Dennis. And out of all teams internationally, says Titanium. I'd say at the moment, France are probably the one that you got to say in terms of out of every team, just because of what we've seen them do throughout, not just the Six Nations, but also throughout the recent times. Box Rex France. Okay, so you want me to suck them off, say they're the best team in the world? Is that better? Okay, no one can threaten South Africa at the moment. So hopefully that helps. Italy would spank England based on that first half. And we have got there Joe Pollock still getting closer to the line, and France definitely, says Derek. And France are very, very good right now, says Washer Dryer. And France is the best team in the world right now. Oh, you're not allowed to say that, the Sporting Kiwi. That gets you in trouble. Yeah, I actually forgot about the England destroying the ABs, says Fleshin. And Otago would be the biggest threat to the box, is it? We are better being underdogs, in my opinion, says Sebastian, and Ireland should be much further ahead. That disallowed try was the worst call. Both players competed in the end. Jamison Gibson Park's try should have stood, says PB. Although I could see why it was given as the penalty, because they did both go up for the ball, but then he did make contact with the English player on the way down, unfortunately. He did end up grabbing the arm, which then straight away gets you in a little bit of trouble. And we got the Argentina better coached team than any European team except France, says Joey. The Box want to be underdogs. Don't give the game away, says Ruby. And also France will classify all the files. Classify all the files. What does that mean? And Hamish, great result last night. Under 20 beat England. Can we make it 2, says Dennis. And also Hamish, greetings from Montreal. As always, bold prediction, Italy will smash England too. Watch this space. Because are they playing in England or are they playing in Italy? I think that game's in Italy, isn't it? Which we did see what they were able to do in their first game up against Scotland when they were at home. I think it's too early to start game over or say game over. Or will it be a point game, says Hardest? I think it's too early. There's been too many games where we've seen a side leading by a lot to then lose. Second half is just around the corner. If England score within 5 minutes, they're well and truly in this game. Now, if Ireland let that happen and go from 22 up to lose this game, that would be brutal. And I'd like to think that they wouldn't. But you just can't tell. We've seen some pretty unpredictable games of the Six Nations. I think we can all agree about that. So, anything can happen. In the second half, 4 games against New Zealand. Don't think my heart will take it, says Titanium. Yo, come down, says Skinny. And also we have got the England to come back and win. And now both sides have made their way back out onto the field now. Couple early changes for both teams because of the injuries. If Ireland score first in the second half, English players will lose their cool. Fisty stuff to follow. There were almost like fisticuffs thrown in the first about 9 minutes of the game, weren't there? Right at the start. From there, I think that's when England realised that they weren't quite in their zone yet. But yeah, they need an early try if they want a chance here. Hi, Hamish from Durban. You still look fresh for the early morning in New Zealand and after plenty of commentary. Yeah, we are on our 4th live stream in quick succession. Next game happening in about an hour. And when are we starting that one, actually? That one's starting at 5:30, so an hour and 10 minutes time is when the next game is starting. As ever, there's only 3 other things happening outside of rugby, says JP. And a good result for Wales last night. Hello from Durban as well, says Brian. And she in second best hooker in the world behind Cody Taylor, says the Sporting Kiwi. But now, chance here. Jack Crowley to kick this ball off. And back underway. Down by 15. The English at home. Have they got something in them here? Carry forward from Ben Earl. The start of the second 40. Do you Kiwis hate England or Ireland more? I'm probably the worst person to ask because I like both of the teams. And that's something that will get me deported. So if anyone's got accommodation in like a remote island somewhere, I might have to go there. But like, the thing is, I find hate's a real strong word for rugby. Mainly because like we all love the sport, or at least I think we do. But people really dislike teams. But I just, that's going to hurt. He's just been bent over backwards there, Tom Curry. He is holding his face as I think he took a bit of a collision on the chin as well as the knees going all wonky-donkey on him. Now nicely taken there by George Ford just outside of the 22. That is their own 22 here. Now carried forward from Joe Hayes. I hate them both equally, but the Irish accent is terrible. It's equal to the South African accent, says the Sporting Kiwi. You're really trying to offend absolutely everyone, aren't you? Now nicely taken at the back. Crowd are singing currently. There is a bit of a limp here for Tom Curry after the way. He did get cleaned out in that breakdown. Beautiful take under the high ball from Jamie Osborne. Almost could have been the potential penalty in their favour as well for being played in the air for Ireland. Breaking the line here. Caelan Doris charging forward. Marcus Smith in his way. Going into that challenge a little bit high. For George Ford, good attack and run from McCluskey, almost got the offload away. Now I mentioned if England score within 5, it could be danger for Gibson Park. He's trying to reach out just 1 metre short of the try line penalty advantage. This could be another yellow card here. Double blow of the whistle, and England are going to the bin again. We have got there, it's easy to hate a team. There's both Tom Curry and Henry Pollock, says Leon. I don't like rugby, I'm just here for the Rice comments, says Martin. Now penalty here, 5 metres out from the line for the Irish. Henry Pollock, he is confused, but I believe he's been yellow carded here. He will be off the field for the next 10 minutes. Miss Gaza, says Gary there. And should have brought a Holden V8, says JD. Right, 5 metres out. Ireland with another quick tap now. As World Rugby a Northern Colt that hates a certain country, says Fleshin. There are a lot of conspiracies about World Rugby around. Right, we're going to see the replay. That's such an awkward way for Tom Curry to hit in this breakdown, by the way. They're just showing the replay now. Furlong got in the shot. He decided, you sit and duck there, so I might as well give you a whack. And England Grand Slam chat seems hilarious now, says Dames. And also Pollock off the field. So he's off for the next 10 minutes. Just showing that line break. I don't know what Ellis Genge was doing there. He forgot to wrap his arms in that tackle attempt. He kind of just sat there with his shoulder, and Doris ran past him, and he went, no arm. Genge defensive liability, and she'll be back. And cook the man some eggs. Okay, Maro Itoje's arguing with the French referee, saying, but did he hit him in the head? So Itoje's just asking the question, if he's hit him in the head while he's in the breakdown, why aren't we checking it? Okay, so Maro Itoje's just got the referee, I believe, to agree that he got hit in the head in the breakdown for Tom Curry, but they haven't done anything about it. And to be very careful with how you word things as a referee, gets you in trouble later. Doris goes off to the left-hand side. McCluskey ends up facing the ball in the wrong direction, but now 1 metre out. Gibson Park goes off to Tyke Furlong, just short of the try line. Pick and go around the side island, get their bonus point. As if it's not even playing and still making it about them, says Dames. I don't like Curry. Still no one should get folded like a deck chair. And again with his alley signed shoes. But that is brilliant work from Dan Sheehan and the Irish. The bonus point after 43 minutes in this game. England, for the second time, are down to just playing with 14. And they're struggling to defend with 15 at times, let alone less. Investigate this stuff, says Stephen. And also we got the England just stick to cricket, says Dennis. They're going pretty well in the Cricket World Cup, to be fair. They're through to the Super 8. Andy Farrell, he is more than happy with what he's seeing from this side. We have got the evening. Hamish, appreciate the commentary, says Tommy Tank. No worries at all. And we have got plenty more coming. We've got Wales versus Scotland. I don't know what to expect from that game now, I'll be honest. Because this game, I thought it would be close. It's just, within 7, I think I said at the start of the game. And I'm happy to admit that I'm very wrong at the moment, depending on how the rest of this contest goes. The kick has gone over from Crowley. So now the lead is extended to 22 points once more. Did the Black Cats win? Completely abandoned due to rain. Now we have got there should be an extra point if you get the bonus point and still win by 4 tries. I guess you get the extra bonus 4 points for winning, in a way. But now Gibson Park. I'm going to wait to the left-hand side. What change in England? Oh, there's some groaning going on in that breakdown. I'm not too sure who felt that, but someone certainly did. But I think it's just, once again, selection-wise, they just haven't quite been there themselves. But at the same time, you can't afford to drop the ball 13 times. In fact, I think it's closer to 15. Another penalty going against England here. March 10 as well for Jack Van Porfiet, just asking why he's been penalised. And Brisset's had enough of the English. Does that mean, is there a backup day? No, I don't think so. I think they just half the points in that group, and that could cost one of them the chance of going through. English fans will be booing their own team soon. Says Joey. Apparently England are the second best team in the world. Have you believed Mr. Devlin? Says Broderick. Yeah, that's the sad reality is there's going to be a lot of pundits who take a huge amount of stick for predictions, for comments that they've made throughout the 6 months. People don't forget things. Other than, of course, things outside of rugby. I forget things all the time. I forgot what I had for tea the other night when I was asked yesterday. But, like, rugby-wise, long memories of supporters, screenshots. That's another brutal one. Now Gibson Park going away to the left-hand side. Now Josh van der Fleer. That's a huge hit from Tom Curry, who's still fighting with his ankle. Across Crowley. Big wide cut-out pass shoveled on again from Jamie Osborne out to... Oh, O'Brien almost snuck down the wide channel. And the bold new fearless England. Says Sam. Again, just the most overrated player in international rugby. 3 absolutely abysmal games in a row, says Bron Chopped. Now going off to the right. Tyke Furlong. Another hit on him. Oh, looks like Joe Hayes was staying down for a bit of time. He's actually had a very busy game. Joe Hayes had a couple carries in the early stages of the match and then just continued doing so. I'd say he's over 10 at this stage. And Ireland again, 20 metres out from England's line. Tommy Freeman wants to steal, but it would be risky to go for it when there is a man still in the breakdown. Luckman. Big shot on him, offloads forward to James Ryan. So they will go back now for the English scrum. And we have got there, so what did starting Pollock make a difference here? Well, he was one of the better players throughout the first half. So I guess you could say that it worked slightly. Came off the bench in the game up against Scotland. They did lose that game as well. So I don't think Pollock's the main blame. But I get it. He's the golden goose at the moment. The easy one to poke. But... yeah, I don't think whether he started or came off the bench here was going to make any difference. England have just been piss poor. 15 handling errors. 15. That's a large number. That's normally, if it's 5 or 10, you probably lose a game, let alone 15. Couple changes being made here for the Irish. England were exposed by Scotland last week, and now Ireland are nailing them. A serious reality check for England, and a reminder not to get too ahead of yourself because no team is unbeatable. So here's the breakdown. We have got there as well. Where'd it go? Get Borthwick out. England like a bunch of robots. I assume that's robots, maybe, rather than robots. And England have been and always will be overrated. See Chef. And we got there the bold new fit. Tell you what, everyone's ripping into England, aren't they? They've been waiting for this moment during that streak, and now it's a different streak starting to open up. Could be 2 losses in a row for this English side. And also, good story, bro. Says Ruth. And also, Ty Furlong made huge impacts up front today. Right, another reset from Pierre Brosset. Play like that in Paris, and it is 50 plus. Says Monsieur. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Everyone's talking about these two sides, but France are waiting. And France, if they win their game coming up against the Italians, they will sit top of the Six Nations on 15 points, which will make them very hard to catch for anyone in this competition. However, there I'm English. This is so poor. And come on, England, says Richard there. England are a bunch of traffic cones. Watching your channel and my TV at the same time. You're multitasking big time then, in that case. Now, big scrum. England trying to push. It's going in a sideways direction, but it is still there for England. Wide cutout pass attempted. And they've decided to kick this one downfield, so they go back for the penalty. Big advantage to England and Sri Lanka. In the cricket now, because New Zealand and Pakistan can only get 1 point each. Yep, massive chance to be able to go through. Although, of course, they'd still have to beat both teams in that regard. I don't worry for France. Even the bunch can win. Even the bench can win, says Chris. Italy will do them next round if England play like this, says STC. Yeah, it's probably a good time to have a bye week in the Six Nations. If you are England, you have that extra week to be able to regather your thoughts, work out where to go from here. I want to be a pilot for Pakistan, says Mega. And also, crowd is turning on Ford, rightfully so. It almost a little bit, I'm not sure whether or not people will like this comparison at all, reminds me of the crowd last week, Prendergast up against the Italians. The Aviva crowd, they turned on him big time. And there was a huge cheer when Crowley made his way on. And I feel like the English in this match, Ford is in that same boat. It's not a good time to be a 10 out of form or making mistakes. So Rundle runs short side, offloads to Smith. That's a handling error number about 16 now. Funny how English were complaining they didn't play the box in November, says Nate. Who's the referee? So it is now Pierre Brosset. The reason I say now is because it was Andrea Piardi at the start of the game, and then it switched. Pretty much they ended up in a scenario where the injury happened for Piardi. It does look like Wales will compete with England. Says so. Remove Curry strapping his fall to bits, says Dunk. That kick into... Oh, yep, it has gone to the corner there for George Ford. See the price of rice in Pakistan, says Martin. Nick Timoney, he makes his way on for Josh van der Fleer. Early changes now being made by Ireland. BLM's already out there. I think we also saw Luckman taken off for Tom O'Toole. Right, what do they do here, England? They go into Chisholm. Rolling maul. Solid defence for now from Ireland, although now they start to shuffle backwards. If they want any chance of getting in this game, somehow England, they need to get Ireland at a disadvantage. 14 men out there on the field just to give them half a chance. The ball's there for Jack Van Porfleer. He snipes himself, or not literally, of course. Sounds like something else, but the ball is there. Goes around the side of the breakdown. Ben Earl. Joe Hayes. Pick and go again from the big man. Van Porfleer at all. England looking to shift this one away to the left-hand side. They did a transition, but no one was ready to pass that ball out. So I think they just gave away their tactic. And the penalty to Ireland. Double blow the whistle. What's this for? Oh. Ooh. What is this? We've got the Croclo, or sorry, a croc with an R. That kind of sounded like I said it without the roll. Or sorry, without the R. So, Croclo, I can't do croc in a French accent. I'm so happy today, says Given. And my baguette keeps growing. What do you mean by that? Then on the line, and England find a way to mess it up, says Arno. Ireland can make 40 plus. And that one's going to be kicked in a touch. But again, Ireland just out from their line have managed to defend extremely well. England flag is upside down. And also we have got there, when does Scotland play Ireland? 1 second, we'll go like this. I believe that is Ireland's next game. Oh, no, sorry, Ireland play Wales next. They play Scotland in the last round. There we go. So that is when that's taking place. 3 weeks' time for us here in New Zealand. And then 2 weeks' time they play up against the Welsh. That one's going to be at the Aviva. So closing out with 2 home games. Fun fact, the only side to close out with 2 home games in the Six Nations competition. I only just realised that, so then I thought I'd say it. But now a kick downfield from Ireland. 29 minutes remaining in this fixture. Oh, going up for it and nicely taken by Marcus Smith at the back. Bevan Rod. He is on for Genge. Guy Pepper's also on for Curry. That's a huge hit from McCluskey. He's got to be close to man of the match again here. For what he's been able to do, the pass on the outside of Rundle. No space, but some fancy footwork to try and create some. On the back, Scotland to beat Ireland. Says the Sporting Kiwi. And how old are you? Have you played rugby before? You're really passionate, says Sergio. So I'm 26. Some people say I look much older. That's just due to stress. And I used to play rugby when I was much younger. Young whippersnapper I was. Used to play out on the wing. And then didn't touch the ball much for 2 years. So then decided that I can probably do something else on a Saturday. But yeah, it's my story. It's pretty boring, really. Advice to England fans, stay off social media for the next week entirely. Says Jerome, I think that's good advice for anyone, not just England fans, just to stay off social media. That's a big driving tackle from McCluskey. We were talking about this last week. I have no idea what's happening around the world outside of rugby. Like, there's like stuff flooding happening in New Zealand. I didn't know about it until I was told in person. Like, I'm completely confused about everything that happens in the world. So, you know, I get taught a lot of things. Henry Pollock back out there on the field, puts in the fend, offloads on the outside, and it could be a chance here for the English. 3 meters short, but already Pollock from making his way back out onto the field, having an instant impact. Ireland going to hold up the English. No, there's an advantage. Right, this might be a yellow card. Isn't that called living in New Zealand? I guess so, in a way. Now passed across. One more on the outside. England score. Ollie Lawrence gets it between the posts. Ireland going to the bin as well here. So down to 14. I said that was the one big chance that England needed, was if they could get Ireland down to 14. And Hamish only knows about rugby and KFC specials. That's actually true, yeah. I do know what's happening at KFC quite a bit. Well done, the Kiwi Lads commentary. Doing great, Mr. Hamish, says JD and Troy. And there. And also what's happening to the ref. Why is he off? So he ended up with a leg injury, PRD. He ended up going off. Keep the passion going, bro. If I don't have the access to the game, I come to your channel. Says Sergio. And yeah, we got plenty more coming up in the future. Did 2 cents get his internet back? I didn't know he lost his internet. What happened to his Wi-Fi? Pollock Fan Club. Run by Roof, says JP. Now 14 points to 29. Still 15 points separating them. 25 minutes left is such a long time in a game of rugby. Too far behind. Our ref got a 20-minute red card, says Jerome, and apparently internet outage in Auckland. Oh, really? Is that internet like as in like your modem or like data as well out in Auckland? So that's data as well. That's a bit rough. What's that due to? Is that like from some sort of weather thing, or is it just in general? Once again, like I mentioned, I know nothing about what's going on around the country. And one good set every 53 minutes ain't going to cut it, says Joey. Maro Itoje now taken off the field for his 100th cap. If Ireland don't want to throw this away, they need to keep the penalty count down, says Zero. I never say never in the world of rugby, says Hardis. Frawley's also now on the field. But Crowley is too. It's going to be for Gary Ringrose. That Frawley makes his way on. Ben Earl tries the spin. I don't believe a Kiwi's obsessed with KFC, says Fleshin. Well, it's just something to do. It's because I'm from a small town. We don't have a KFC here, so it's quite exciting. This is going to make me sound like I'm really sad, but like each Monday, I get excited looking at what specials are on at the different supermarkets. Just something to do, isn't it? We have got there Tojay already off, says I am nutty. That's honestly that's not a lie either. Like, I'll go on New World, count down all the main supermarkets and go, what's on special this week? Now going off to the left, England crowd starting to believe that little bit more. Marcus Smith. Oh, it's a big knock on though from Ben Earl. Chance here for Ireland on the counter. Oh no, they're going back for the knock on. What's the biggest comeback from a blowout? Has it happened? Could you say England comeback? So we saw, Scotland, Argentina in the November internationals. We're probably one to look at. I think Scotland were up by 24, lost in the end 29-24 or something. Nothing wrong with that. Irish says zero connection. Where I live in South Africa, we have 2 KFCs, just saying, says Hardest. Could we borrow one? We have nothing in terms of here. Like the closest KFC is 30 minutes away from us. And the latest supermarket's open till 8. And the 32-15 Ireland's biggest win in England, so it's close to that, says I'm nutty. Watch England win this. And check those bargains out, says Neil. And there's always an air fryer on special everywhere in the world. Briscoes always have an air fryer on special here. In fact, Briscoes always have everything on special. Bros from the Wop Wops. Yeah. It makes it sound like we have like nothing like to do. Which there's stuff. There's like a park and there's a supermarket. And a couple other, there's a hill. It's a bit of fun. How often do England knock on at key moments? They've done it a lot in this game. The KFC is 500 metres away here, and I live in a small town in South Africa, says Alyssa. Now 23.5 minutes left on the clock. There is still time in this game, but you'd have to think next try, if it is Ireland who score it, that would be the game. South Korea came back from 31 in the second half to beat Chile in 2016. Nice. Oh, there is another scrum reset here. Feet out from underneath the two sides. Frustration being shown by both teams at this stage. Do you know what's exciting? 1 hour away, Scotland versus Wales. That game is very close to taking place and will be the second game of the day for the Six Nations. Then tomorrow we've got Crusaders versus Brumbies during the day, and then also France versus Italy is the game later on. I just arrived back from Wellington. My sister lives there. I must say the All Blacks are a bit morbid, says Arno. And if KFC withdraws from South Africa, there will be a civil war, says Ruby. Right, scrum feed again. Now we're down to 22.5 minutes remaining. The scrums have been a little bit shaky. Oh, it's doing the side shuffle. They've turned into crabs, the forward packs, and it's going to be a free kick now for Ireland. Okay, early push from England is the call. Next weekend, good top 14 game, Po versus Bordeaux on the Sunday, says I'm nutty. Now going off to the left-hand side, Doris does receive the pass. Low tackle made from Henry Pollock. Now Gibson Park. On off to the left. Nanu, penalty advantage again here. Looking for the offload. Picked up by Gibson Park. Another offload attempted. They go back for the penalty. KFC here is awful, says Fleshin. 16 over the ruck. So that will be Jamie George. It's being penalised for that one. Hooray for Hill, says Charlie. Wales can pull off the upset, Mr. Hamish. I think that game's going to be closer than this one. Only because this game is much more one-sided than I expected. So 5 minutes remaining of the Irish yellow card. So they may look to just go for the 3 points here. And in fact, that is the choice they have made. Ireland going for the 3 points. Yeah, using up a bit more time of that yellow card. Ireland getting scrappy. But it doesn't matter because England can't take advantage. And we got there, ask Moosh. Is that me? Am I Moosh? We have got there Ireland going to get the next. Oh, sorry, Wales going to get the next one. Kick's gone over. Commentators are talking about keyboard warriors, and one of them said that they call them potholes. That's a new name. And who shut down Ben Earl? I think that Caelan Norris and Van der Flair have both done very well throughout this game. I haven't seen a huge amount. Who was 6 in this game for Ireland? Tyg Byrne. Oh, no, we saw a bit of him early on. He's still actually out there too. But yeah, I think that this is probably one of the better games we've seen from Norris and Van der Flair throughout the last 6 months or so. Last week I backed Scotland. This week I back Ireland. My Super Bowl was looking good, says Arno. 3 points, right call, kill momentum. So smart from Ireland, and that one's going to be slapped back. Claimed now by the English. George Ford thought about going for the kick. He's going to be turned into being carried. And it looks like Ireland, led by Tyg Byrne, they get that ball back, the Irish, and it's another scrum. England are imploding. Polls called a national road in South Africa, says JP. I can't read the second half of that one himself, but yeah. Oh, we have there. Do you have Nashville hot chicken at KFC out there? Nashville hot chicken. I don't think so. I think we've got chicken and we've got slightly spicier chicken. I think that's the 2 types that we've got. McDonald's recently started selling wings here. But it's all the information I really have about chicken. Hamish, how's Jack Crowley gone today? Good. He's gone real good. And maybe I've been a little bit over praising of him, but they've looked like a different team here, Ireland, with him at the helm. I see 40 points. Looks like your score is getting there. Chap, says Arno. 3-pointer here, 3-pointer there. Someone to the math, says Nick. I might go for points here myself, and you're missing out, bro. It's amazing, says Justin. We have got there, please, can someone give Pollock a card, any colour, just get him off the field, preferably in an ambulance. He's already had a yellow card, Robert, and that's a penalty now to the scrum in which Pollock is involved in. England managing to get themselves that scrum penalty, 19 minutes left. Crazy game, says Eldon. Yeah, it's been hectic. It has been anything but what I thought it would be, but yeah, it's been interesting. Kicked into touch from George Ford. How many times have I used the word interesting to describe this game? It's got to be close to about 50 by now, right? I will mention also, because I always forget to say this, anyone who's new, be sure to hit subscribe. I think I forget to say that every single stream, but we are here every Six Nations match. So if you are new, hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more coming up in the near future, including Wales versus Scotland just around the corner, which I think is going to be one that you definitely don't want to miss in terms of that match. Definitely with how this game has gone. Now short side, Ollie Chisholm stays in the field of play. Guy Pepper supporting him. Now Alex Coles, man of the match. Jamison Gibson Park or McCluskey. Yeah, they've been real strong out there on the field for the Irish. Passed on the outside. Henry Pollock, quick hands to Tommy Freeman towards the core. Wow, he's been absolutely crunched. That bloke's got a sore face now. But he's driven into touch by Ireland. It looked like he was going to be certainly running in, but Robert Baloucoune just flew across the field like a tracer bullet and just absolutely smashed into him. That's great cover defence from Robert Baloucoune. Also, brilliant effort there from Tommy O'Brien to be able to get that initial contact on him. 4 passes from England. Best hope they have, to be honest, says Joey. And Jamison Gibson Park sounds like a rip-off Cologne. 2 yellows equals 20-minute red, says Monsieur. And shut down of England finished 5th. Borthwick sacking call. We'll be back, says I'm Nutty. Go Ireland, come on lads, 1 more, says David. Now line out throw here for Ronan Kelleher, who has just made his way onto the field for Dan Sheehan. I do also see there, I think that's Cian Prendergast. Initially it was going to be Jack Kona, or at least maybe it wasn't. Was it or wasn't it going to be him? Yeah, it was going to be Jack Kona, so I think a late change there in the Irish lineup. Oh, penalty. That's a silly penalty to give away again for England. If they just reprieve, this time it's Guy Pepper. If Wales beat Scotland, they will be a linear world champions, says Joe Needling. And also England left their brains in the locker room, and I still think England still sore from the Scotland game last week. They look gassed, says Claus. And New Zealand Pakistan has been abandoned. Yeah, so both sides get a share of the points. And interesting times 50 equals boring. No, it's not like positive and positive equals negative. I think interesting in a good way. Intriguing as well, in terms of just because no one predicted it, the way that this match ended up going. I see people wrote Ireland off too prematurely. Says bad to the bone. That's the thing. Like, teams are going to have an off day. And, you lose one game and people straight away say, nah, you're no longer going to be anywhere near good. But, Ireland a bit shaky up against Italy. Then they've come out here and look like a whole different side. I wish Wales can get just one win against England. And yeah, if you're new, hit that like button and then subscribe, says David the Mod. And now rolling it back again, Jamison Gibson Park. O'Brien doing well too. He's done extremely well off the bench. Tommy O'Brien. Called upon early. And honestly, I'd start him in the next game. Oh, what a take that is from Tommy O'Brien once more. Now, just down to the last 15 of this contest, still separating these two sides by the 18 points. And Rob and Tommy O'Brien, says Eldon. I was finding 50 different ways to say interesting, says JP. Kick downfield. And Robert Bellacoon chased in after this one. He would have heard the footsteps behind him there for Henry Arundel. And it's a rarity for that man not to score a try in an international game of rugby. Currently, he's only got 15 minutes to be able to break that. Good tackle from Doris. Still inside. Oh, another penalty for Ireland. They are brutal in the breakdown this game. We have got England as so over. I hope they are levels below Scotland, Ireland and Italy. France should send their youth team to batter England. Says Sniff My Badger. That's an interesting name. And we have got there coming Ireland smash. One more try down. And one more try Ireland, says Jerome. And if Ireland scores now, it's all over, says Hardis. Even if they take a 3-pointer on. 3 points here would give them a lead of 21 points. Use up a bit more of the clock. Wear them down. Already got the bonus point, and that is exactly what Crowley's going to do. England really do buy into the hype. If I can't cope with that hype, or can't cope when that hype disappears. And another kick over from Crowley. That number 10 jersey is looking more and more like his heading into the later games. Luke Cowan-Dickie looks a bit sad on the sideline. Definitely not the game they would have been hoping for. But England decide to kick this one off quickly. Trying to find a way back into this game. 2 tries here converted would give them a bonus point from this matchup. Where did Ireland get their number 14? He is good. So yeah, Robert Bellacoon, he has been playing for Connacht. Which is a reason why some people, or actually, didn't he transfer to Ulster? He was at Connacht initially, though. And that's one of the reasons why many people didn't know about him for a wee while. Nothing against Connacht whatsoever, but they're one of the teams that, from a outside of Ireland perspective, not many people follow them. They're normally a Leinster or a Munster watcher in that case. And he just managed to get the steal and the breakdown, Robert Bellacoon. Now kick downfield from Jamison. Gibson Park, this one's curling. 5 metres out from their own line here. Marcus Smith, he is smashed in the tackle by Gibson Park all over him like a rash. And the turnover penalty for Ireland again. This is one of the most clinical performances in a breakdown I've seen from any side in recent months. Maybe the last year. Just the relentlessness to look to get that ball back and ripping it so cleanly. Jamison Gibson Park, man of the match. He's almost got to be now with that turnover that he's managed to get. And keep flying, Ireland, says Trev. And also we have got there, Tim Smith says JD. And come on, Ireland, make them look pissed, says David. And Ireland another 3 points, although this time they have decided to go for the corner. In this case, Gibson Park should be man of the match. Yeah, he's had an incredible game. And Farrell vindicated. You see, isn't it interesting? Now Farrell's gone from the guy that some people were calling for him to be sacked and now saying stick him in there for a bit longer. And now it's Borthwick who's getting told that he might have to look for another job. Now Ronan Kelleher, ball on the back of this rolling maul. Gibson Park probably deserves a second try here if he did on some sort of open space. So 12 minutes. Oh, Gibson Park with a sniping run around the side of the breakdown. Almost manages to creep through. That's just illegal from Ben Earl. He was hanging onto that ball on the ground to try and slow it down. Luckily for him, the referee didn't spot it, or else he could have also found himself going to the bin. Now 3 metres out Round the side. That sounded like offside advantage. That's very close to the try line here for Ireland. They're only less than a metre away here. Tyke Byrne. Looks like he's going to be the man digging around for that ball. England holding it in for a bit of time. Byrne goes back to Gibson Park. Backline movement now. Out into the hands of Frawley. Offloads it up to Crowley. 3 men on him. Offloads to Frawley. Back to Gibson Park. Oh, that was dirty from Bennell. He's just chopped the knee of Gibson Park. Luckily, he hasn't injured him. But it looked like it was a bit of an attempt to do so. That looked like another tackle attempt from England to try and take out a kneecap. But it's not going to result in anything but an Irish try. And Jamie Osborne now, the man who runs it in. England look like they're at the end of the rugby season. And also we've got the World Rugby favourite child can't hide anywhere. And also where's the crown England were given before the tournament? Here's Shiva. And also try. And also supporters are going to do what supporters do. They're fickle as hell, says Samuel. It's probably well said, isn't it? Oh, yeah, I've got there, what a bloodbath, says David, but they get themselves another one there. And what a boss try, says Brian. Yeah, there were multiple times where England rushed forward to make that spot tackle. Ireland still got that ball away. And then another try go on the way of Ireland. They're up to 40 points. Kick here from Crowley. It's going to make it 42. Ireland just chucking it round for fun now because they know England defence can't cope whatever they do, says Joey. And that one has gone over. Record score for Ireland. Says I'm nutty. And humiliated Owen Borthwick has to go. So who are you replacing him with? I have a guy who may want to go into that England coaching role, though they'll have to pay him out of his Japanese contract. Eddie Jones, mate. He can go straight back in. He loves England. There's a coaching option, mate. Piston England means drunk. And also the difference with Crawley is 9 and 8. Yeah. And like Prendergast, he's a talented 10. Don't get me wrong whatsoever. He's a brilliant player on a given day. But I don't know if right now is the time where he's the best 10 option for Ireland. Whereas I think Crowley, from this game alone, has proved that he's got to be right up there. I can't wait to hear Borthwick's chat after this. Eddie Jones wants job hands down. Ian Foster for England coach. English media this week will be wild, says Anthony. Yeah, they won't be happy. Gibson Park. I don't normally clap for players, but you can't see me clapping. I'll put that a bit higher because I don't know if you can hear it. It probably sounds like something else, but brilliant game from Gibson Park. And just a crucial performance from him up against this English side. They need more than 110, says STC. Exactly. But when you're looking at one starting 10, I think that Crowley's the guy for now. Prendergast can be a perfect option as an impact off the bench, but Crowley's kicking as well has been something that's just kept that scoreboard kicking over in this one. And once again, it does depend on whether you're a Munster man or you're a Leinster man normally in terms of who you like better out of those two. But from a completely neutral perspective, Crowley has been brilliant in this game. And not the scoreline I was expecting, says Philip. Array's to coach England. And Doris, what a contrast with Itoje. Yeah, Doris has had a phenomenal game too here. In fact, you could probably list about 10 players from Ireland who have played out of their skins in this one exactly. Kiwi Born, James Gibson Park. See there, 12 carries, 44 metres gained, 8 tackles made, 3 line breaks. That doesn't do his game justice in terms of the statistics. He scored himself a try. He's probably had about 3 or 4 assists. We see Trevor Davison just making his way out onto the field now for the English. I think Rassi, are we worried about France and England? Says Robert. And I take it a draw is not possible anymore, says Sider. Not unless something really, really bad happens in the next 7.5 minutes for this Irish team. England players need to get some treatment. And Prendergast and Pollock are the next big things. But you need who's playing the best right now. Yeah, like the thing is, Prendergast is going to be in the Irish rugby picture, I believe, for the next 10 years. But it's just whether or not right now is his time, or whether he's just got to wait that little bit longer. Some country is very biased. Even gloating England lose very bad. Some country is very biased. Is that me or like is it all? Tell you what, Marcus Smith might have a breakaway try here for the English, or are you talking about the commentary on the actual coverage? What a run back from McCluskey. He's forced Marcus Smith into touch. Give McCluskey man of the match. Give them both man of the match at this point, because that is a phenomenal run. He gets the support of his teammates. He can't even get back to his feet at that stage, McCluskey. That is incredible. He wasn't even close. He's just... I don't know how he's caught Marcus Smith there. But he's just gone and nailed him into touch. And he Farrell he does the fist pump as well. About 4 different fist pumps from Andy Farrell. I haven't seen that man, like I mentioned earlier on, we haven't seen him that animated. But he has just absolutely loved that one. Oh, and then they drop the ball 4 metres out from their line here. Henry Pollock, chance for the English after the mistake made from the Irish. It's a moment, and now they're giving away the penalty there for Ireland. 5 metres out. McCluskey is a machine, the Terminator. Yeah, I mean, we've got to remember, they're missing Bundy Key. But honestly, McCluskey, the way he's played in the Six Nations, has he confirmed that number 12 jersey now? Oh, that's another drop ball from England. 6 minutes remaining now on the clock. The Irish, they've got themselves the ball once more. Go Andy, says Samuel. And also we'll get there. See you in the next game, and he is running his feet off. Yeah, the fact that he managed to get back, he couldn't get back up to his feet after making that tackle. He was absolutely exhausted. And McCluskey is the boogeyman, says Brian. That one's going to be put into touch once more. "13 handling errors is what they've got them at the moment for England. I'm pretty sure it's more than that, though. They were at 9 in the first half. They've dropped the ball multiple times. And the second 2, Ollie trying to go over the top. There was Ollie Lawrence. 15 metres out for England. Jack Van Porfliet going away to Sam Underhill. George Ford getting trapped between Osborne and O'Brien. O'Brien wanted the turnover, but he has lost his footing. So we'll be penalised there. Flat run from Sam Underhill. He's going to be held up. Brilliant defence, or was it? No, it's a try for England, the 3rd of the contest. They are now 1 try away from their own bonus point in this game. Ireland just need 3-pointer for a new record versus England, says I am nutty. And both these teams won't be in the final in the next Rugby World Cup. And Bundy Aki should retire and play for a season at Moana Pacifica. And Consolation Try says so. Although if they get one more consolation at the end of this game, they will get that bonus point. What's embarrassing is the excuses tore for Prendergast all of a sudden. No, he is not there. Prendergast is a really good player all of a sudden, says Powerbite 92. I mean, to be fair, I've called him a good player all the way through. I just have said that he doesn't really fit in with this current Irish team. At least not in the Six Nations Cup. Last November, I think he did pretty decently when given some chances. But like currently for Ireland, this has shown night and day between their 2-10 options. We have there Rassi. Thinks is this happening? Will be against his team, says Mornay. They're going to see the depth from Ireland, needed for the Rugby World Cup, says Sheva. Are they now relegated England? No, they will still be mid-table. And the Six Nations comp, the kick has gone over 2, making the score 42 points to 21. Jack Crowley. Have to kick this one off again. Bonus point will not save our season, Hamish. It won't, but it will be nicer than not getting one. Nice take from Henry Pollock inside of the 22. Bumps off the challenge of Timoney. I'm not sure why Ford is still on the pitch. Because of the 6-2 for England, I meant that they weren't actually able to bring him off. Because of the early injury of Mitchell, it meant that they had to bring on Jack Van Porfliet, and then around halftime, Marcus Smith came on for Freddie Stewart because he received a yellow. Although you could have really kept Stewart out there just in case. Oh, it's a tackle on the ground. Although it is going to be play on, or Leach isn't playing a little bit of hot potato. That one's going to be slapped back for Ireland. Now kick downfield from Craig Casey. And just inside of the 5 metre now for George Ford. Kicks that ball downfield. Wise ball kicking the ball out with 2 minutes to go. And England got grand slammed. And Atoje is going to want to forget his 100th. And also we have got there England. Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? And honestly, Italy is more scary than England. I just hope we beat Italy tomorrow, but it's not done, says Chris. Besides Springboks, who else has a chance of winning the World Cup next year? Oh, I still think there's about 3 or 4 sides, if not more, have a good chance. And here we are, bad when the live chat has more chats about the cricket than the rugby, says Glenn. And also, we have got there, all Canada is laughing. Okay. Why is Canada laughing? Where does Canada come into the equation in this scenario? Have they got like bad blood with England? And now another big run from Ireland. 2 minutes now left on the clock. Caelan Doris almost got his offload away. It's going to be knocked on the ground. The curling, says himself. McCluskey is going to get you, says Brian. He's exhausted, McCluskey. He can't even get back to his feet again. So even Canada hates us, says Sebastian. And also we have got there Prince Andrew's not laughing. And I want to see France get beaten. They are getting too cocky. Says bad to the bone. Yeah, see, France have now become the team that people want to see do badly, it seems. Like, it's gone from, for a start in this, I would say in the start of the rugby, it was probably Ireland were the team that, from the outside perspective, the ones who were commenting wanted to see lose. Then they lost up against France. Then it became that they wanted to see England lose, which they have. And now it seems like the momentum shifting that now people want to see France lose because they've won too much. Is that the gist of it? This is the best thing I've seen in a while, says Anthony. And Hamish, can we get an All Blacks ladder as we lead up into the tour up against South Africa? I think that's above my pay grade. I don't think I'm that great at depth charts because I'm too indecisive to rank players, let alone work out like where I'd put them as a whole squad. But maybe. We'll see what happens. But I have to refresh my memory because I've forgotten half the players. Just recent on, there is a penalty advantage again here for England. That's because people love underdogs, says Sergio. It's usually the team that wins too much is bad to the bone. Oh, chipped in behind, attempted. They're going back for the penalty. I'll mention there's only 20 minutes away from the start of that next live stream that we are going to be doing for Wales versus Scotland and Italy versus Wales final. And turning out to be a fantastically interesting Six Nations. Who says rugby is in crisis, says David Pels. Yeah, there's so many little stories in the Six Nations at the moment in terms of the individual matches and the pure uncertainty heading into every single game. And England as a slam candidate, what the hell, says Connor there. Thank you very much for, is that Canadian dollars, Connor, for yourself? Maybe? Or what else is CA? Where else is CA as an option? And we have got there, sorry, but no one watches more rugby than you. Are you the best person for the job, in my opinion? Says Broderick. Yeah, I just have to get off the fence, which is something that even after 6 years of doing this, I still can't do. Little knock on there from England in the breakdown, and that will be the end of this contest, ladies and gentlemen. 42 points to 41, a massive win for the Irish at Twickenham Stadium. They have come out firing. They have got the bonus points. And they have got half a hope of still winning the Six Nations. But do you know what the interesting part is, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you very much for that donation as well, Connor, by the way. I don't think I said thank you at the time, so I do apologise for that. But do you know where this gets really interesting? And the Six Nations, once again, is going to show a little bit of drama. Do you know the only way that Ireland can win the Six Nations, ladies and gentlemen? In the main way that they can? It's if England beat France. So now these two sides, in the case of Ireland, they have gone from wanting to batter this English side to now hoping that they find their form in 3 weeks' time to be able to cause that upset so that Ireland then win the comp. It can happen. But now the Irish will be firmly behind the English for the final round of the competition. Weird, isn't it? It's crazy how quickly it goes from like teams not liking each other to then that mutual slight support for certain teams. If England beat France, says Washer Dryer. And only if England want to see France lose, says Jerome. And never want to see Ford in an England jersey again. He cannot produce when it matters. England won't beat France. Italy stand a better chance, says Sergio. And also, interesting, says Ruby. Farrell got them emotionally right. A great motivator. And England versus France, Ruth. I won't be able to concentrate. And Ireland, I would rather France win it. You're dreaming, Hamish says himself. So you're saying Ireland would rather have France win the Six Nations than have themselves win the Six Nations? How does that work? If France are too good this year, says Washer Dryer. And also, commentator said England got hollowed out. That's an interesting terminology. And Italy will beat France, says Miguel. No, man, I wouldn't support England even if it meant Ireland winning the Six Nations, says Reward. And South Africa also want to see France lose. Viva la Blue. And also, we've got the remind me again, who were the 12 that England bet back-to-back. Says so. They bet New Zealand. They bet Australia. I can give you the list. It's engraved in my brain and also in my search history. So the 12 in a row for the English, because this will make them feel better as well. So I assume you're doing it for the morale boost, so they'll appreciate it as well. But so the wins, they were over Wales. That was the last of the games, of course, in the winning streak. They beat Argentina. They beat New Zealand. They beat Fiji. They beat Australia. They beat Argentina twice more. They beat the USA. They beat Italy. They beat Wales. They beat France, and they beat Scotland as their teams. Ireland, ironically, were actually the team that were the victors just before that winning streak. And thoughts on this year's Nations Champions Cup? France looking strong at the moment. Says Sergio. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Those July internationals are going to be extremely intriguing. Didn't beat Ireland, says Dave there. And well played, Ireland. We are not as good as we think we are. I'm made to look pretty average, says Richard. And no, we won't, says Captain Fantastic. And also, we have got there France would have had more losses if their top players played in New Zealand or South Africa. Hometown bully, says bad to the bone. I'm just relieved that Ireland is realising the talent waiting in the background. Very proud of the new lads. Yeah, Robert Ballacoon, Stuart McCluskey. Like those two were sensational in this game. Jameson Gibson Park had an absolutely incredible game. Doris stepped up. Van der Fleer stepped up. Crowley did very well at 10. Sorry, late to the party. I'm reading this correct. Ireland beat the Poms. Yes, 42-21 was the end score in this game. It could have almost been more one-sided, to be fair. But England able to get themselves those 3 tries. But now we've got 18 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, until the next contest. That is going to be Wales versus Scotland. Can Pollock be sent off for 10 months rather than 10 minutes? I hope that you don't actually mean that, Robert, because like wishing an injury on any player, no matter how much you dislike them, is just not at all in the spirit of rugby. Like, yes, you can hate him on the field and you can dislike him while he's out there, but you don't really wish players to end up with injuries. Like, as a player or as anyone in a team, they'd tell you that they just, you just don't go there. England terrible, Ireland excellent, says Sid. And also we've got the Islands going to get the Six Nations, says David. And also we have got their thoughtful analysis, says JP. And there too. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in, ladies and gents. Like I said, 14 or so, in fact a bit more than that, about 15 minutes away from that matchup taking place between Scotland and Wales. So of course be sure to tune in for that one. We've got the Six Nations game tomorrow as well between France and Italy, just to add another one into the equation, and Super Rugby thrown in there too. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you all in about 15 minutes time.